ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to get underway. They're going to find their seats and remember to enjoy the show. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Coming of Age.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome to you, to the podcast. Enjoy your listening today.
Welcome to. Just keep on going. That's beautiful Dan Joplin singing with the nice little choir boy voice.
Castrati. You have to do what I say.
Oh my God! And that is Chase Cummins over there.
Well, hi guys. Hi.
And I don't have an impression of
That's
Christian
Alan
Bale yet.
Loosebrough.
I'll do my little quiet boy voice. Oh, he's such a dick. God damn it. So this is a movie review podcast that me and my two friends have decided to start, and we
continue,
and we still do it to this day, and we try to improve, and we try to talk to you about movies and what we like about them and what we don't. Just go through the whole thing and have a good old time. And
Kit and caboodle.
we're gonna talk a little bit about some things that we've watched lately. I know I'm excited to. I watched some things that I'm very happy about. Have you guys seen anything at all of any?
Yes.
Always Chase. Chase like, yes, I have. I've seen 20 things.
This isn't a
trying to
podcast
think.
about what I watched this week. That's 2 hours of your night gone.
Watched City Slickers. Hadn't seen that in a long time.
City Slickers. I don't even know the last time. Like, I feel like I've seen that movie one time, and it was a long, like childhood. Like,
I fucking love that movie, dude.
I loved that movie when I was growing up. Very funny. Don't remember many things about it though.
I don't remember so much. I don't remember any of it. I remember that's a movie.
It's like a re-coming of age.
I do need to go back and watch it.
From like shit bags, like people
Well,
turn
it's-
to shit.
Yeah, no, he's not shitbag. He's just like impotent little. He's just like little man. I don't need to do anything. I'm old Billy Crystal. I'm a Jew and stuff. I just want to hang out with my family. And his wife's like, you need to go do shit. Like you're becoming a pussy. And then he's like, oh okay. And
What
then he
movie am I
goes.
thinking of? I don't think I've ever seen City Slickers.
What?
You never watched it?
No, I don't think so.
I definitely remember the premise.
Yeah,
I-
it's
I-
Billy Crystal and Daniel Stern. He was the other burglar from Home Alone.
Yeah.
And God, what's the other guy's name? Like Gino something.
I don't remember.
Yeah, the other guy. He's an Italian guy that was in a bunch of shit in the like
1800s.
late 80s, in the 1800s, in the early 1800s.
That's sick fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking of like that Vince Vaughn movie where he's a dick in Vegas or some shit.
That
Like,
is
what's
that is
what's that
with
movie?
John Favreau. What the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
is that? God damn it! Now I'm just thinking of Slickers and City Slickers, and it's not that.
It's something.
It's something like that though.
Slick, the soul slick Rickers. I'm just kidding. I don't know
It's
why.
not Slackers. It's
It's City Slickers.
oh my god.
City
Now-
Slonkers.
now we're gonna have to
Slong
edit this.
Ditties.
No, we're
it's
not.
Slong Ditty Slag
I mean,
Stick.
now we are, but.
I'm gonna find out.
So there's a movie that I've seen that movie and I don't care about that one either. But I haven't seen City Slickers, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's just
Swingers,
fucking
yeah, City
swingers.
Swingers.
Swingers, Slingers, Sling Dingers 5.
But anyway,
Sling
let's not talk
dingers.
about Swingers.
I watched Chef last week, that John Favreau movie, which is actually very charming.
Okay, what's up with it?
Have you not seen it?
No.
Oh, you never saw Chef?
Oh,
it's
you
like
just watched it.
It's been out for years. Well, everybody told me to watch it. I've been putting it off.
I know. Don't give me shit. What, you haven't seen it?
it
I just
looked a
watched
little-
it.
It looked a little
thought you
like
had seen
corny. Just Just yeah, fucking. It's the food truck one, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's feel
Yeah,
good. Its conflict is resolved by the middle of the movie, and then it's just montages of
Dan
happiness.
is shaking his head.
I watched comedians in cars getting coffee. I hadn't actually watched that before. Just watched an Alec Baldwin episode because my friend recommended it to me, and I was like, "Did you recommend this to me?" Because for one, they talk about like the people waiting on the Showbiz Commission to come and get you. Like, oh yeah, I'm super talented, but I don't know what to do with my stuff, so I'm waiting for somebody to call and be like, hey, this is the Showbiz Commission. I was like, did you tell me to watch it because of that, or did you tell me to watch it because of the irony of Alec Baldwin talking about how much love and affection he pours over his children, while simultaneously there also being a recording of a voicemail where he calls his daughter like a little fucking piggy and like fucking disgusting and like that she's a fucking piece of shit. Because both are pretty
That's
funny reasons.
Hilarious. I
Yeah.
did not think of either of those things, and that's fantastic.
The Alec Baldwin
Yeah.
thing?
I think it's it's so funny. I didn't tell you to watch that for either of those reasons.
Yeah, but yeah, those are both funny things. Yeah, like Alec Baldwin, he's like, oh my god, my children, it's insane how much love I pour over them and how much affection, blah blah. It's like, dude, that shit's on YouTube, man.
Yeah. But it
Like,
sounds
we can
like
still hear that.
but I've listened to it and it just sounds like a mad dad.
It
Like
it
my
is,
dad
but
has
it's
said
also but
so
it's
much worse shit to me.
I mean it is, but it's also just like,
Hey, Dad.
yeah, dude, you're
I love you,
Alec
Dad.
Baldwin, so you can't leave that voicemail, bro. Like you can't do that and
Yeah, but like
expect that to not go everywhere.
it was leaked maliciously and like by Kim Basinger, I want to say. I think that's the prevailing theory, that she leaked it because she knew it would make him look bad.
How is he supposed to
Yeah.
live his life, Dan?
I don't know. He just. I think it's just
hey.
a dad who got frustrated and said some shit he probably shouldn't have said to his adult daughter.
No, she was 12.
What? I
Yeah.
thought she was 18.
No, she's fucking
Oh, that
12.
changes everything.
He says in the thing, he's like, I don't care if you're 12 or 11 or whatever. You're like,
I don't remember
like, when somebody calls you, you pick up the phone. You pick up the fucking phone.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, dude.
Oh yeah. All
Take a
right.
chill pill.
Forgot. Didn't realize she was 12. Just
Yeah.
like heard him being angry to his daughter, and I was like, oh, it's just a dad.
I mean, it's just
Oh,
a
never
dad
mind.
talking to his 12-year-old, guys.
Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I watched Misery for the first time.
Fuck yeah.
Have you seen Misery, Dan?
I have, Mr. Man. I have.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one on the planet who hasn't seen it. But I literally have known about it ever since I feel like I love the 70s or I love the 80s. I don't. What year did that movie come out? I don't even know.
It was an 80s movie, but I could be wrong.
The reason why I love that movie is now that every time I see Kathy Bates, I'm just gonna imagine her getting hit over the head with a typewriter. And literally this scene, the end scene where they're fighting, and he like hits her somewhere. I can't remember exactly. Trips her or something, and she fucking hits her head on the typewriter, and it's like bing. I laughed like so hard. This was early in the morning when I was watching this. First thing I did that day was watch Misery. And it was
Wow.
It was fantastic. And that's the funniest fucking part too, because I just imagine, I don't know if it's exactly like that in the book, like that particular part. But like
I think they did have that sound effect in the book.
yeah, it
It
was
said
like you open the page,
It
and it's
described
like
it.
but like, you know what I'm saying. Stephen
Yeah,
King
yeah.
uses his words. And
Yeah.
as from a writer's standpoint, that movie's fucking hilarious comedy, because it's literally about a writer's like fear of his audience being crazy. It's like, I'm your number one fan. You have to write a novel for me. Like, it's so
Smashes
awesome.
his feet. Oh, it's so brutal.
Hobbles him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy
Brutal
as
as
fuck. Like, she's just waiting for him to get in a car wreck so she can take him out of the snow.
I think it's implied at the end that she caused the car wreck.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Neon Joe has a Neon Joe Werewolf Hunter has an episode where they do a misery bit.
Oh,
Have you guys ever seen that show, Neon
I
Joe?
have
We're
watched a little bit of it. Yes.
Never
It's
seen it.
Phenomenal. John Glaser. It's
I love
real
him.
good. Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
He's awesome. I for the longest time did not know he was the guy in Delocated.
Yep.
Like it took me like
Please be
he's
Jewish.
in
Please be
Parks and
Jewish.
Rec. Oh my god, Delocated's so good.
Doesn't he date
Jam.
Amy Schumer in that? And she's like addicted to danger, so she dates the Russian mob guy, the puny brother.
Oh,
I think that's Amy
yeah,
Schumer.
yeah.
Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't know about Amy Schumer as well I should not have.
I didn't know about her at the time. I'm just thinking like I
Yeah.
was like watching clips of it the other night because I love that show,
Yeah.
and I just been talking to Jordan about it, and she's never seen it. And then I was like, I think that's Amy Schumer. That's just like a young Amy Schumer playing his girlfriend. She's funny in that show. That character's hilarious.
I think she's only in it for like an episode or two.
No, she's in it for longer because it's not like long. It's like a whole season though.
It's not long.
Like, and those seasons are short.
Oh.
Because I think she dates Eugene or whatever his name is, Eugene Merman's character, and then she starts sleeping with John Glaser, and she's like going back and forth between the two for like multiple episodes.
Think it's
Okay.
Glaser.
Glaser.
Glazer. Yeah. Well, I said it both ways, so it can be both correct
Cover
and
your
wrong.
tracks. Also, I only have one other thing to say. Really, I didn't watch that much other shit, but today. It's not like an announcement, but it's apparently a rumor that's like pretty prominent that Tom Cruise is the forerunner for the Green Lantern
Really?
role. Like he's in the running, and people have been making like Tom Cruise Green Lantern, Photoshopped images, and. It looks good, but it's also like you're going to pick Tom Cruise to be Green Lantern? What the fuck? Like, he's literally going to steal the show with being such a fucking dick and being so much like, how long are you going to keep this franchise going? Not that long. We already know that it's going to die very soon.
Well, unless they
But I
make
guess
it,
the one-off, just Tom Cruise as Green Lantern and then it dies?
Well, then, isn't there a rumor right now Joaquin Phoenix is going to do Joker?
yeah,
Yes,
no,
but
he's
these
not.
are-
It's not a rumor.
These are unconnected. That is a Martin Scorsese produced film that is not within the universe that they are creating.
Yeah, it's just a Joker
Because they're-
origin story that
what?
Scorsese wants to make.
Yes.
What?
Which
Yeah, it's gonna be
that'll
awesome.
yeah, they're making 2 Joker films. One with fucking what's his nuts, which might not even happen anymore. With this what's his name?
Jared Leto?
Jared Leto. Yeah, they're supposed to be making like a Harley Quinn Joker movie. I'm pretty sure. This was like from like news that I was talking about like 6 months to a year ago.
Well,
and like
the Joaquin one is definitely happening.
yeah, it's definitely happening. But it was rumored around the same time. Like I'm pretty sure. I don't even think it's a rumor. Like it was legit happening. But Warner Brothers and DC are so like fickle that it's like yeah, we're writing these movies. It's like nobody wanted to make it, but 3 directors did, and we fired them all. It's terrible.
Well,
but
it's
we'll
like,
make
is
it. I
anybody
swear.
communicating with each other at DC? It's like, guys, you guys got to get like a centralized game plan here. Like, what are you fucking doing? The Marvel universe is like fucking got such a web created right now. Like, you gotta focus up here. What?
Yeah,
You're doing 2 different Joker movies?
it's very strange.
Well, I think with the Scorsese one, it's kind of just like, oh, you want to make a Joker movie? We can't stop Scorsese. Like, we all want to see that movie. Even they want to see that movie. It's like, yeah, just let him do it. It'll just exist outside. Like, that's just him. It's just a Scorsese picture at that point.
But like when DC movies used to exist outside, like they
were better.
It was better.
Yeah.
So we might actually get like a really cool like Joker movie
You
with
know.
Joaquin Phoenix.
But there weren't a lot of DC movies. It was like Batman and Superman. Like what other movies?
For DC,
They had
you
some
had
Wonder Woman
Watchmen.
movies. Didn't they?
Watchmen, yeah. Watchmen
No,
was
they didn't.
fantastic.
No, it was just the show. They
Yeah.
never made a movie.
They never made a movie.
Okay.
Huh. Supergirl?
Well, Watchmen is Vertigo. Oh wait, no, but I guess Vertigo has Swamp Thing, which is DC as well.
It's considered a DC property. It's standalone, so it's not really in the DC universe.
Yeah,
But it's got Zack Snyder. Who started with Watchmen doing pretty okay in the comic
He
book.
started with 300.
Yeah, 300. Yeah, graphic novels.
Which was, honestly, I enjoyed that movie when it came out. Now you watch it, it's a little dated, but at the time I was like, this is crazy.
I was literally in like Western
Well, yeah.
Western Civ, and our teacher is like, maybe I can like get us like to go see that movie. And I'm like, everyone was like, we know that movie's not gonna be like educational.
It's like
Dude,
sex and
but yeah,
violence.
let's go. Yeah, it's great.
It just reminds me of. Do you remember on
We didn't
Party
get to
Down when like the blonde, like popular, pretty looking guy is like, okay, I got a great party game for you. So on this piece of paper, write down how many times you've seen the number the number of times you've seen 300, and like Martin Starr like writes down a number, and he's like, okay, now give me the paper. All right, now if the number is over 2, you're gay. And he's like, give me the paper, give me the paper. And it's like 13.
That's so awesome. I fucking love that show too.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a rewatch. I need that coming in the future. Party Down
Yeah.
rewatch.
I remember being like on a date and just like going back to a girl's house like just to hang out. Like we weren't like intimate or anything. It was just like awkward stage kind of thing. We're like, okay, let's go hang out. And I'm like, oh, like have you ever seen Party Down? And we like start watching Party Down, and it's like the stalest. But like I'm like, like isn't this great? Like and she's just like not responding, and I'm just like,
Well, then that girl's not cool at all.
she
I've watched
actually
that
is,
with people.
I'm still friends with her, and she's pretty cool. She just, but it was very awkward.
That show's so funny.
It is fucking hilarious. It might have just been the me.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's that awkward stage where you're just like, hey, let's put something on so we don't have to talk right now, and then just like you're getting no feedback from her on the show, like, she just,
Don't you love the
She would
show? I'm
prefer
not even
talking.
thinking about you anymore. This show is
I'm just laughing
great.
at this show. What do you? It's not all about you.
That's probably what it was.
It's probably exactly. Yeah.
Chase, besides Chef, anything?
I rewatched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is fun. Great. It's great.
It's great.
It's great. I watched a ton of shit. What?
I was gonna ask, did you like the show Chuck?
I did like the show Chuck.
You seem like you would like the show Chuck.
I don't recommend it to people or advertise my love of the show Chuck, but I find great enjoyment in watching
people loving Chuck. I remember that being a thing, and I never watched it.
I thought Zachary Levi was charming. I thought Yvonne Stravinsky was sexy, and I thought Adam Baldwin was there. So
I'm very excited about Zachary Levi and Shazam. That
Yeah.
looks dope.
looks
Yes.
dope as fuck.
It does look good.
Yeah.
Oh, there is this new trailer I sent you. Did you watch that Black 47 trailer that I sent you?
No.
It is I sent it to both of you, and neither of you watched it, and that's all right. But it's like an Irish revenge
Sorry.
film, set in like the 1800s at some point. And it's got Hugo Weaving in it as like a supporting actor. And the main guy, I've never seen him before. He's probably some Irish actor, and it's just all this like fucking revenge story against the British that like killed his family or something. And he is fucking people up in this trailer, and it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like just a dark, grim, the Brothers Grimm 2. So.
Brothers Grimm Part 2. I
Ah.
saw that
Brothers
movie.
Grimby.
Let's not talk about the Brothers
The
Grimm.
Brothers Grimby. Never saw that either. Definitely gonna go rewatch that. Or
Definitely.
not watch it for the first time.
Yeah, no, after watching Who is America, I was like, I kind of do want to watch that other Sacha Baron Cohen movie that I was like, I'm never going to see that. But now I kind of actually do want to see it.
Absolutely. Him and Mark Strong, like playing those characters. I definitely want to go watch that. That sounds funny. Now that I'm watching Who is America, though. I forgot it was a movie for a long time.
Did you ever watch that? What is the pharma? What's that? documentary that's like a mockumentary about cycling on HBO. What is that thing
Oh
called?
yes. Oh god damn it.
It's so good.
Is
The
it
Tour
the
de
one that
Pharma or something.
Tour de
Yeah,
Pharmacy?
Tour de
The one that Andy
Pharmacy.
Samberg did.
Yeah.
And
And Orlando Bloom. I think
yeah.
Orlando Bloom's in it.
yeah, a lot of people are in. John Cena's in it.
John Cena
Yeah.
is the funniest in that fucking movie. I was so surprised that John Cena turned it out and is the best part of that fucking mockumentary.
With like every comedian ever. The first one they made is that same group made another one with Kit Harington from Game of Thrones, and it's about tennis, and it's just as funny. It's another HBO
that's
movie.
awesome.
And I forget the name of it, but it's been by the exact same people.
Lots of tennis movies I haven't seen lately.
You and my father should play tennis. We'll fill up the swimming pool. And eat 3 times a day.
Okay, let's talk about Empire of the Sun.
Let's do that.
Okay. So this movie, 1987, comes out. Steven Spielberg.
Steven
Old
Spielberg.
Stevie Spielies.
Oh my god.
Old Steven Spielberg just trying to shove some magic down your throat.
Right off the coattails of the color purple.
Shove some magical war nostalgia down your throat.
Yeah, it's
It's
quite a strange
Looks fun.
tale. I honestly so
parts of
It was
were
a weird
fun.
one.
it was so weird. We were
So
like
weird.
while it's happening, you're like, where is this fucking going? Like, all these strange things, and
Super well made,
oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but it's like, what is happening?
So we're gonna talk about all the like shots that are super awesome. Like this movie won some awards in cinematography. It was nominated for like 6 Oscars. I think it didn't win any of them, but it was all like cinematography and sound design and
It's
like
technical stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
The
but
real
it
Oscars.
won like the BAFTA award for like best cinematography, best score, and best sound. But like
I mean, it definitely had all of that
It had
to it.
the cinematography was fucking incredible, but
Like-
I think it was up for like best picture or something. I feel like in the Oscars, and it like lost out to like The Last Emperor or something.
Well, that's
Just because it's fucking, because it's like it's really good, it's really technically good and everything, but it's just like
But the story,
the fuck.
Yeah,
there
it
was,
is.
there
fuck?
was so
it is not as clear or concise as The Last Emperor, which is just as well made.
it's so crazy, like Spielberg making this film. Like you feel the Spielberg so hard. It seems like he's just shoving it down your throat way too hard. And also at the same time, he's not sure where he's going. He's just like, it's just like Spielberg's like on Molly, just like making a movie. He's just like, I want everybody to feel this. I feel it so hard. Feel this. You're just like, oh my God.
That's an apt way to describe this movie. That really is like, that's
Yeah.
succinct. I think that's like almost what was going on. Obviously, he wasn't on drugs, but like that he's basically just taking this material and going, "This is how it makes me feel. Don't you feel it?"
Yeah.
But it doesn't have like,
And like,
it doesn't
yes,
have.
I feel you. I feel you, Spielberg. I can feel
Yeah,
you
I feel you
through
feeling
the
it, bro.
screen,
I
staring
feel
at
how
me.
frustrated you are, and I'm very upset right now.
Yeah, for sure. When did he get divorced from his first wife? Who's his first wife? It was like a fucking famous actress, right?
I believe it was the woman from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ah, yes, I believe it was. Let me find out real quick because I really do want to know if he.
All right, musical intermission. Oh, so I was thinking while I was putting Sawyer down, if Adam Sandler was in this movie instead. Scooby Dooby, Scooby Poo Poo, Scotty Doddy, Scoopy Pow.
So he was married to Amy Irving.
Great.
And they got divorced in '89, and this obviously came out in '87. And Amy Irving you will remember her as one of the mean girls from Carrie and
yes.
other movies. And
Hell
then,
yeah, he got that mean girl.
No, I won't.
She's the curly-haired one in Carrie. I don't think she's the main villain. I think she's like the friendly villain.
She looks like
So you'll barely remember her from
She
as
looks-
one of the mean girls from Carrie.
She looks.
I just can't remember
like
which
the
one. I know
evil
she's one of the main.
no,
vampire.
I know. I'm just
in Vampire's
teasing.
Kiss.
Well,
Go
he's
with me
since
now.
married in '91 Kate Capshaw, who was from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. But Amy Irving, he married her in 1985, so this was 2 years after and 2 years before his divorce.
It was
So it's
directly
like-
in the middle.
So it's really like he's just feeling everything.
He got married. Did you say he got remarried in 91?
Yeah.
yeah,
The fuck, dude? Like,
85
what are you, a
to
masochist?
89.
Like, you're just like, oh yeah, no. 2 years later, I'm ready. Let's do it again. Let's just get married again. Like, that
Dude,
just
you fall in
seems-
love.
Yeah, but like it was with Kate Capshaw, who he's known for at least a decade at that point because he directed her
Okay.
in Indiana Jones, and then they're still married
Yeah.
and they have like 7 kids.
Yeah, that first one was the bum bum.
Yeah, the first one was the bum bum. The second one was like, yeah, I'm ready.
I'm so in love.
It's the second one is probably part of the reason the first one didn't work out because there was
When
some
you know-
unremitted
when you-
feelings there.
And maybe the
When
first
you know,
one,
you
a lot
know
of
that
times
the
was-
first one's not gonna work.
Yep.
When you're 2 years in making a film called Empire of the Sun and you know your marriage isn't going to work. Good fucking God. So on the Christian Bale side, this was his second film. I thought it was his first, but apparently he did a film earlier that year that came out in July called like Mio and the Faraway Land or some shit. And I was like, gonna have to watch that shit. It's a summer blockbuster with 11-year-old Christian Bale.
When I saw that Ben Stiller was in this too, and I kept
Oh
looking
my
for Ben
God.
Stiller as a shot. I kept looking for like a little bit like a Ben Stiller that was gonna be playing like opposite Christian Bale, like kind of on the same plane
Dude,
as him.
okay, I thought
and
the same.
I just wasn't thinking of him being like several years older than Christian Bale, which really
Like a
he could have just
decade.
been like fucking 19. Yeah, it's like not that huge a gap, but still, I was just like, what?
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of growing in those years that got.
Yeah, but Ben
Yeah,
Stiller
yeah.
looks like a full-on adult.
Yeah,
in
he just
this
looks like a fucking shitty old.
I mean, he
like-
looks like he could be like fucking 20 in this movie.
He was
I don't know,
22.
He looks like he'd be.
There
a
we
little
go.
older than that.
He's 22, which means Christian Bale is
He's just crusty.
not that old.
Oh well, they really crusted him up. They really crusted him up for the camp. Like his teeth, you just like in
yeah,
one of
his
the
teeth.
first shots you see of him, you see his teeth, and it's just like, did they add an extra tooth in, just like sideways?
Like totally did.
I wonder how many movies he had been in at that point.
I don't
'cause
think many. I think it was like one of his
Because it's
first.
kind of crazy to be in a Spielberg movie and you're like, oh man, like what's my part gonna be like? This is gonna be like my time to like kind of like get other jobs from this movie.
Yeah,
and there's like,
well-
all right, you're gonna have some black teeth. You look like shit.
Don't forget who his father is.
Yeah, it's very
Jerry
true.
Stiller
I didn't,
had a
I
legacy.
didn't think about that.
I mean, and his mother.
Jerry Stiller
like,
fucking
Yeah.
rules.
Who's his mom again?
Who's
I
his
forget
mommy?
her first, but I mean, they're both like they played Jerry's parents in
Yeah,
Seinfeld,
Mrs. Stiller.
Yeah, and Mira. Yeah.
or well, not Jerry. Sorry, not Jerry's parents. George's parents.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. I didn't realize that was his actual mom.
Yeah, that's Ben Stiller's actual mom and dad.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. So yeah, his family were in there.
Anyone
Oh my
want to say anything else before we just jump on into the beginning of this film where where it's like a lazy Star Wars flick at the beginning? It's like read by David Attenborough and it's just like hey, what's up guys? Just want to give you a little bit tell you what's going on.
I was really tired when I started the movie, and I fully appreciated that man read those.
Okay,
that
same.
fucking credit crawl to me.
Oh,
We
same.
did too, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
At the same time. But like literally, it starts, and then the guy starts to read. Like I remember the first thought in my head was like, "Oh, guys, we gotta read." And then he starts talking, and we're all like, "Yes!"
Yeah, everyone
And then-
everyone cheered.
And then we stopped listening because we were just talking about how great
Yeah.
it was that he was reading.
And then it cuts to the first shot, and you hear the
Swoogan is the name of that song. It's a Welsh song.
Did you say Snoop Dogg?
Yeah,
Snoop Dogg.
Swoogan.
So we got so, but right when it cut to the first shot, Alan just goes, the camera's just gonna go right into Christian Bale's face singing the song, and then it did that.
Yeah, of course.
And then I didn't pay attention for a minute because I couldn't stop laughing.
I knew it, dude. I knew it was happening. But it starts with the coffins, like in the
in the water,
in the river. Yeah,
yeah.
that
the
was
boat
pretty
pushing
fucking.
through 'em.
That's pretty fucking nuts. There's a lot of times during this film that I was like, this imagery is fucking insane, but we're all laughing. Because of something previous that happened, or like, I don't know.
Well, because it's just like Christian Bale, like, I don't know, dude. He was so all over the place. You were like, man, this kid's really cool. This kid is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, it swung back and forth from being like, wow, this is an amazing, like, entrepreneurial spirit, like, kid, he's so interesting stuff. And then he's like, saluting the Japanese. And you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's problematic.
Okay.
It would have been better to make him like a noble character over the arc, but by the end, you don't really feel like he grew all that much.
Yeah. No.
He just
Yeah,
lost
it was
his
like
mind.
a coming of age. Yeah, it was exactly. It was a coming of age movie where he just went from a child to insane.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he went from an uncapable, ungrateful child to a capable, delusional child.
Yeah.
Like, he just
Very capable, for sure.
became very capable, completely broke with reality. Just like egomania right at the end there. Like, I can save everybody. I can save everybody.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
like,
God.
oh my God. Intense scene, well executed. But I was like, what is the message?
Exactly.
Yeah.
During the entire movie, I was just like, there are so many different things that could happen. I don't think any of them are going to happen. It's so weird that I was just wondering how the fucking movie was going to end the whole time, because there's just so many like and it was just like kind of like a chunk out of real life that didn't seem like it was glorifying aspects that you just didn't feel like would be glorified as well.
Yeah, you really would not have expected them to go so ham on like
So you're-
respecting the Japanese
So you're like,
pilots and
how
everything.
are you going to wrap this into a film that I'm going to be like, oh, I get it.
I think he was going for like, it sucks for everyone. We're all people.
For sure. Well, that's literally, I looked up what he says, because it didn't have subtitles at all for the Japanese soldiers. And that was kind of strange, because we rented it on Amazon and it would have subtitles if it had subtitles.
Yeah.
I
would imagine.
And
If it had them, it'd have them.
it would just have them in like built into the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it had them, it would have them for sure. If it had had them.
So when that Japanese, general or just soldier is beating the doctor, and Christian Bale comes up and like bows down and starts saying all that shit, like,
Breaks the windows.
I was just
Well,
like,
first he grabs the chair and you're like, oh shit, is Christian Bale about to fucking attack the general? And
Yeah.
then he's just like, no, I'm fucking on your side, bro. And smashes the window and then bows down to him.
Yeah.
yeah, but he says there's been some sort of mistake. We're all friends, aren't we? Blame it on the war. So that's exactly what Spielberg is like trying to say, that like
Yeah.
this crazy war is just fucking making us all doing this, but like
Those
we're all
subtitles would have really helped that message come across better.
exactly.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy that I would even have to look it up, and I don't know. I guess there's a lot of it's very confusing. I really wonder if it was supposed to have subtitles or not. It confuses me.
I feel like maybe it was supposed to, but we watched the official video release. Like,
Yeah, so
there
it
were
was
no
strange.
hard-coded
It was
subs.
strange that
on
there
it.
wasn't.
So, like it.
Maybe
Someone
it's
fucked
supposed
up.
to be a little deeper, that you would have to go and pursue finding that information out yourself to even realize what their motivations are and everything. Just like in the war, you wouldn't naturally know that and naturally assume like, hey, these guys are just
I feel like you'd
But
have to
you have
know, because
have to-
unless they revealed it another way later in the film, that like your knowledge of what he said to change the mind, like they could do it a different way if to an American
Yeah.
audience, but they didn't.
But
So, I feel like It's not right.
You have to consider too, if he was trying to make it like an Easter egg that you go look up and then you're like, oh, that gives deeper meaning to the film.
1987.
It's 1987. The
Yeah,
internet
no.
doesn't exist yet. Not in the way that people are using it. Like,
Yeah,
where
you
they can
gotta go
look
do
stuff up.
fucking card catalogs,
You
bro.
gotta
You
go
gotta go to the
learn
library, do a
Japanese.
decimal system and shit.
Yeah, and then
You gotta get the microfiche. You gotta get the microfiche fucking newspapers and shit.
Yeah.
Under the big fucking monitor at the library.
And then to translate Japanese that you don't know, you'd have to either remember the words that he spoke that you don't know how to spell, or you have to know someone who speaks Japanese and have them translate it for you. So it's like, I feel like it was not.
Just watch it with a Japanese guy.
Yeah, you gotta watch
Yeah,
it
you
with
just have to
someone who
see.
speaks
It's promoting friendship across cultures. You gotta befriend a Japanese guy.
to
Hell
really
yeah.
understand the theme of the film.
Glider boys for life.
So
Yeah.
I didn't know
He was like your house has people in it level of like deep on this one.
exactly. Spielberg just went full Alan Resnick on us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spielberg just like talking about his influences. He's like Alan Resnick. But what? Wait, what?
Hey, tutorial hands.
He was born that year. You're just like,
Yeah.
what? This baby influenced you? He will.
Yeah, dude.
I could
Dude.
I could do an entire podcast
That just supports
about
that
Alan
Spielberg.
Resnick and Alan tutorial videos. All right, guys. This week we're going to be talking about the How to Take a Bunch of Pills video by Alan Tutorial.
I mean, that supports the theory that Spielberg knows about the government conspiracy hiding all the aliens, and that's why he makes movies about all the fucking aliens in the 70s and 80s. He was part of it. He got to see the future.
Hell yeah.
On the inside.
Yeah.
He makes some
so-
good alien films.
Did Christian Bale signal the attack? Did he accidentally
No.
start the attack?
I think he was just like blinking his light, and then the attack started, and it's like coincidence because there's no way a 12-year-old just like starts the attack by like shining
It
a
was
light
re-
out his window.
Yeah, well,
Well, because they were doing like Morse code across
Yeah,
the city, like
sure.
him and another guy.
exactly.
And then like
but
then another one started on the ship, and then they were blinking, and then all of a sudden he got bombed right next to where he was blinking.
Yeah, it could have just been the location of the bombing, but the movie didn't go into that at all. It was just,
Yeah.
there wasn't like some news feed in the back just being like, the Japanese bombed blah, 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 because like
Yeah. Well, and in history, there's like the Japanese were going to bomb the Chinese no matter what. It wasn't a 12-year-old who started the attack.
Yeah, no. I just thought it was funny. It was like
Yeah, the way the
no,
movie-
obviously not
yeah.
that he caused the attack, but just like, oop, hey, look, there's the signal. Let's go.
Well, see,
Yeah,
that's
he just like accidentally starts it early or something.
these questions that we have are a product of the movie not really wrapping itself into the plot.
Well,
it's just kind of happening.
He just it was just he wasn't thinking about it. He was just like it functions good as well as the scene if you're just seeing it as like this kid fucking around with his light in a window and then this thing happens.
Yeah.
But the way he presented it, it's like, wait, it looks like he just signaled the attack. And then
like-
he's a Japanese sympathizer the rest of the movie, so
It feels right. It feels like he like did it on accident, especially when his father runs in the room. Obviously, he didn't signal the fucking attack. But
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think he purposefully
Yeah,
did
yeah,
it.
exactly.
no, no,
Purposefully
no,
did it.
yeah.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
But like even suggesting that
But,
he
like-
accidentally did it is ridiculous, but it's totally what the movie did.
Yeah, I think that when his dad runs in the room like after the bombing starts and he's like, I didn't mean to do it. Like that's just that line is why he had that scene.
Yeah.
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 Just so you can see Christian Bale be like a little like, like what the fuck? I didn't mean to do it. And you're like, you didn't do it, you fucking idiot. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Shut your mouth, kid. We got 3 minutes.
Yeah. But like roles like this, like where it starts off as a little rich boy as well, and like he just becomes so crazy. It really, like Christian Bale he seems like he's been the same person his entire life.
Right? No. I just imagined him like screaming like a motherfucker at like some gaffer who like walks in front of his lighting or some shit. Like
Yeah.
as a 12-year-old though.
Yeah, apparently he was like, he would like just like run around the room and do a bunch of jumping jacks and like fucking try to hold his breath for as long as he could before like every take. So yeah, it was like I was reading some things about it, that he was just trying to like tire himself out a little bit and like be.
It's
out
like
of
a
breath
little
for every
kid
take.
spastic version. Yeah, it's like a little kid spastic version of like method acting and just like really getting into the role, but he's just like still a child, so he's like, I'm gonna hold my breath.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg's like, Jesus.
I bet you I can run to the craft table faster than you.
It said on the internet that they fucking auditioned like over 4,000 people for the role of Jim.
Jesus Christ.
And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, if that's true, like
well, then they found the right one because obviously he's gone on to have an illustrious acting career.
for sure.
Dude, they found the right one in Malkovich. I'm so glad Malkovich was in
Oh,
this.
he was
Yeah.
great in it.
Yeah.
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 He was so good. Literally, right when he showed up, I was just like, damn, he's so fucking cool. I wish he wasn't a dick in real life.
Yeah.
He's such a
Well, a
fucking-
dick in but just a dick in all existence. He's always like, he's rarely a
but
good guy.
he
He's-
plays a great
He's
dick.
less a dick in
sure.
real life and more just like pretentious as fuck.
That's being a
Yeah.
dick. That's being a fucking
I
dick.
guess.
Like
Yeah.
you're just acting all fucking douchey and
Yeah.
like,
And he just
dick and douche.
when I saw him, he was stoned out of his mind, like wearing like the stereotypical hipster like cloth shoes with no socks and like pants that were a little too short so you could see his ankle and tell he wasn't wearing socks, and like a pink t-shirt, and then like a $5,000 blazer that is made to look like it's a $200 blazer.
You're making it sound good, Chase. Stop making it sound so good.
Yeah, but
Dude, it's. I mean, it sounds like also Jeff Goldblum's like wardrobe, and also sounds like
kind of. But then everything he said didn't make sense. Nothing he said, nothing that came out of his mouth was like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." It's like,
Yeah.
what?
From what I
Is
remember,
it a
he
thing?
like just kind of talks about film in this roundabout weird way where he's like, I'm fucking awesome and like this happened, and you're like, well, it didn't really make sense what you just said. Could you go back?
Yeah, that was my experience with like seeing him.
But not even that. Like he just like does like what is it? He does Squarespace commercials or something. And he's like,
Well, that's what he was advertising at this fucking thing.
he's like,
And it was-
yo, watch this shit, like or something. Like he's just way too like you wouldn't expect. You'd expect it from like Johnny Depp, but
They-
not John Malkovich.
They made like all of these like Squarespace homages to David Lynch movies, and they were just like single shots that were like homages, quote unquote, to different David Lynch movies with John Malkovich playing the different characters. And it was the most pretentious garbage I've ever seen. And it was just a massive
God
advertisement.
damn
And he
it.
sat on stage talking about the like the purpose of homage in modern culture, and it didn't make any sense at all. It was just nonsense he like was told to say or just was thinking up on the moment. And it was like, no. Homage has a place in a conversation about art, but not in this conversation about art. My God, it's literally an advertisement for Squarespace. And everything he said was just nothing. It was just non-sentences. It was like all paradoxes and stuff. It was like, that's not art, bro. And that was kind of the attitude he took about it. And it was very strange. And he was stoned the whole time. So it was just like confused in that as well. In front of like 2,000 people. So it's very uncomfortable to watch. It was just uncomfortable. It was disappointing.
yeah.
It's just
It's like,
disappointing.
wait, can other people talk, please?
It's like, please stop. Bring Mel Brooks back out. He was awesome.
Christian Bale as a child like does have some like crazy little lines about God and stuff though. I like there's a lot of like little nuggets in this movie, you know, where he's just talking about like maybe we're God's dream and he's ours, and you're like, "Aw, you're insane." All right, now go to sleep and get some cheese in the middle of the night.
Dude, he was just a little fucking hangar whore. A little airplane hangar whore. He was just going after whatever the hot new plane on the block was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking obsessed. That glider scene, Jesus fucking Christ.
I mean, that looked like the most fun a 12-year-old can have, though. Like, you find a plane, and then you've got your plane flying through the air, and you're just like, grrr. Oh my god, that
Yeah.
looked like a blast.
Looks awesome, but it's like the best glider I've ever seen in my life. He threw that once, and it just did all those tricks and flew through the air and like over the hill and back into the air. And you're like, oh my god, that looks great, but I don't believe that glider could glide for that long.
Well, over the hill, and then it lands into a bunker full of Japanese dudes while like Bale and his parents and everything are at a party, and Bale is also dressed up like a sultan.
Yeah,
like he's got the little
Can't forget
shoes with the curls on them.
One of the best ways that scene could have like transitioned, like the tone was pretty great. It was just like, oh shit. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, he crests the hill, and you just see all of the Japanese just staring at him, just like the fuck.
Yeah.
Oh
that was
my
pretty
god.
nuts.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it was awesome.
His dad comes back over, like his dad and the friend come back over.
Don't run.
And, the dad's friend's like, don't run, don't run, just come on over here, just quickly,
that's
quickly.
pretty
All right,
fucking
cool,
crazy.
let's go. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're just at like a fucking Halloween soiree.
Yeah, they're just like at a little country
Halloween
estate.
luncheon, I think is the term you used.
Luncheon is what I said yesterday. It's like daytime. They're just like fucking. We're dressed up and shit, and I don't know. It's very weird.
No, yeah, and like the friend was talking about like the scary thing about them was their patience. They're just sitting there. They're just sitting, just waiting. They're like all entrenched throughout the country, throughout like China. All these Japanese people, all of the troops are there and everything, but they're not attacking. They're just waiting, just sitting around like, oh yeah, oh hold on,
Yeah.
is it? Wait, okay, cool. A kid blinked the light. Let's go.
Like literally, Christian Bale's Jim is talking about through the entire movie that he admires the Japanese, like for like how brave and how like cunning and like just like every fucking glorious adjective he's giving them. He's just like he's admiring the shit.
I mean,
out of
he
the Japanese the entire time.
explicitly says to his father in the beginning of the movie, like, I'm thinking about joining up with the Japanese the Japanese Air Force, and it's like, the fuck, bro.
Fuck no, you're not.
Yeah, the doctor in the camp is like, who do you want to win the war? Like, what? Wait, what side are you on, Jim?
Jim was on the
He's
side of childhood innocence.
He was childhood fucking delusion.
Yeah.
Jim was fucking nuts, dude.
Well, he was kind of an asshole from the beginning with the nanny, the maid.
Yeah.
And he's like, you have to do what I tell you. And then very satisfying slap in the face after everything kind of falls apart.
Oh yeah.
In Shanghai. What?
I love that slap in the face.
No, I was just then thinking to when Bale and the driver, the Japanese driver of that
So
car,
funny.
are slapping each other back and forth, like looking at the road map while like he's hanging out the window and shit. Oh my god.
We're making a joke that that Christian Bale is just your Google Maps, and he's like, when I tell you to turn right, just turn right. And when I tell you to turn left, turn left. And it's just like, okay.
If you don't listen to me, we're never gonna get there.
You just go straight. You just go straight. Now when I tell you to turn left, you turn left. You do it now.
Oh my god. Also, when he first gets thrown in the truck, like he's they were all waiting to get taken onto the truck to see who would get taken to the camp and everything. He's like banging his fucking food bowl on top, and I'm just like, kid, you gotta stop that. Like they're gonna just be like, no, fuck it, you're out.
Yeah, I thought they'd just be like, okay, you're wild, goodbye.
See ya. Well, in the scene where Joe Pantaleone finds him and he's bringing him back to the boat that they're staying on, and right before they introduce John Malkovich, and Christian Bale's just talking the entire time. And it's like it's a long sequence, and he's just saying things. And I got annoyed. I was like, oh my God. Like, I know they're trying to establish him as this annoying kid, but it's succeeding and it's over succeeding because I'm about to turn this shit off.
Well, literally the next line is John Malkovich being like,
or Joe Pantaleone.
Oh yeah. Him just being like,
Kid, you're starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, that's
That's just
I'm
having that's
annoyed.
just having a child around. That's just having a child around. Like constant questions, just nonstop. Like
I feel
you're just like shh, just listen. Shh, shh, I love you so much, but you shut your goddamn mouth, or I'm gonna freak out.
Before we get into those characters and like John Malkovich and all the crusty fucks, let's talk about okay, so like when the war starts and they're all get in the car and they're driving through the crowds, like trying to get away, and obviously they get separated later on, but like that fucking scene is so fucking nuts, especially the market scene too. All the like car scenes, the market scene when that fucking like just like I don't even know what it is, like rabbits or some dead rabbits, something I can't remember. It's something.
Oh
dead,
yeah,
just a
smack
bundle of
against the
them,
window.
Just smack against the window. I was like, God,
And leave the blood on there.
damn.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like when GTA first introduced the blood splatter on the screen, it was like that,
Yeah,
just all over.
Yeah.
that was pretty fucking intense, and
And-
like, what's that?
I was just gonna say, then there's the like Chinese street rat kid who's like banging on the window.
Oh God,
That then comes back later.
So
Which when he
creepy.
came back later, I was like, "Oh wait, is he trying to help him?" Like when he's chasing him for
I
so.
thought that first too.
Yeah, and then like, nope, just takes his shoes, just starts fucking taking
Yeah.
his shoes.
And some other guy takes his bike, not even the same guy.
Oh, I was so pissed when he got the bike. When I was like, "Why did you fucking drop the bike, bro?"
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for him to have dropped the bike.
But so he's
Yeah.
dropping shit all the fucking time. He drops his airplane, and that's how he gets separated from his parents. His mom
whole
is literally
plot
like,
movie.
"Don't let go, like stay close to me." And he's like, right after that, he's like, "Huh? Drop my airplane." And he's like, "I gotta get this, mom." See you
Dude,
in 2
that
seconds.
scene, yeah, when they get separated in the crowd, that was just like so a lot of anxiety in that one. You're just like, "Oh God, just
Yeah.
just so many people."
Like, I can see you.
Yeah.
You're on top of that car, but I can't. I'm gone.
Yeah. It's very anxiety producing.
Like, also the scene where he's already on his own. There's so many anxious scenes where he's running away from his house. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. We're gonna go back to when he gets to his house, but also it's just a very anxious, fucking crazy scene where the parents of like other children or just like adults are on that truck driving away, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Come on, boy,
Oh,
come on,
yeah.
come
Yeah.
on, come on." And he's riding his bike as hard as he can. And they're like, "Come on, come on, come on, you got it!" Like, that's insane.
I was also like,
Yeah.
why didn't they slow down? Like, because it's not like the Japanese people, like, you're already hauling white people. Like, why don't you just grab this? Look, we got a spare white kid. What's this white kid doing out here? Quick, grab that white. Like, I thought
Yeah.
that they would want to round that one up. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, where the fuck are you from?
It's true. But also, they should have done Steven Spielberg should have figured it out early enough before Jurassic Park to put that rear view mirror scene in where it's just Christian Bale riding his bike and it says, "Objects in this mirror are not going to make it." It's like, oh.
Does that happen in Jurassic Park? Shows that in the guy in the rear
The
view?
rear view? No, it's the T-Rex
Yeah,
in the
he's-
rear view, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's also on Toy Story.
Which
Two?
T-Rex could only run like 12 miles an hour, so there's no way it could get the Jeep. Like, whatever. But anyway, let's keep.
In the book, they're on the river, and the Jurassic dinosaur man, the T-Rex, is on the bank, like running after them, and the river is
Not going 60
narrow.
miles an hour.
Is narrow enough that T-Rex can't. So they're like fucking trying to get away from it. It's a fantastic book.
That's even more nerve wracking because then you don't have control over like the vehicle. You're just like, oh fuck, we're just on a slow ass
just like,
river.
You're just like pushing water past you as fast as you can.
They might even be in a fucking truck in it, honestly, too. But I think they're in a boat. But I don't know. I read that book one time. It's pretty good. So anyway, the part that I really wanted to get to was after he's separated by his parents, he just goes back to his house.
Yeah.
And as he's, just coming back to his house and he starts looking around, obviously it's been broke into and everything's trashed. And the scene where he notices the powder, what is the powder?
It was just like talcum powder. It was like foundation. It was like a big
Okay.
makeup.
It was
thing
there
got
was
knocked
so
over.
fucking much of it.
Slash whatever baby powder like would have been like that's what it was. It was like makeup foundation or like for the guy he would have put it under is like
Yeah, it was just there was so much
Yeah,
in
it was
that,
just talcum
in that
powder.
drawer.
yeah.
And that fucking sequence of shots is done so well. It's my favorite part of the fucking movie. Literally where he's just looking around and he sees the powder splayed out and then he starts noticing the handprint and the footprint and then he sees the scuffle and then he sees like even more and it's just looking around the room like telling a story. That's a fucking fantastic way to do it.
Yeah, it's a great.
Yeah,
scene.
I was like, are those rape prints?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, what?
Yeah. I was like, oh god, his mom came home.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
That's crazy. I was actually not thinking the mother. I was thinking the father. But yeah, I probably should have been thinking the mother. But the handprints, I guess they're from the whoever was doing that, but Japanese tiny hands. So I really did think it was just the father.
Are those cat
just
paws?
Like scuffling with them. But yeah, that's a much more horrific image to
That's what I was thinking. With the bare feet and the hands,
the
and
bare
stuff,
feet
that's what
and and it being in the powder even is more of a like indication kind of.
But then when he opens the window and the wind blows all the powder away, it's like one of the most beautiful sequences in the whole movie. And it's just like
Yeah, just same sequence, just part of it.
yeah,
It's
the end of
awesome.
the sequence.
It was like him really just like blowing away. Yeah, just like reality, and just like, you know what? We're just gonna have a lovely little Home Alone moment. Is what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ride my bike around this house. I'm gonna fucking do all the crazy shit I'd never get to do. Also, where's mommy and daddy?
mommy, daddy.
He's just like resin hitting every can of food in the house. Just like, I know there's more.
Yeah, he's just like drinking water out of the individual ice cubes, like
Yeah. Oh god.
in the trays. Yeah.
And that's when his nanny comes back and is like fucking stealing some things. That's fantastic.
Time seemed to have passed a good bit in this movie without it ever really telling you how long has passed.
Yeah.
Like,
or really giving much of an indication that it had passed.
other than the pool drained a little bit,
Yeah.
which was like, oh, I guess this has been several weeks or months.
Yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't much indication of like how long he was enduring this.
Another thing is he finds those glasses, and then he finds that coin in like the fountain as well. Is it in the fountain? Like when he's at his
Where
house?
does he find? I was wondering, where does he find the coin? Because the coin was from when his father was playing golf.
Yeah.
Like that was the coin his father put down when he was playing golf in a yard.
He found it. He found it in
remember
one of the
where he found
drawers at his house. He found it in one of the drawers or one of the jackets or something.
I thought he found both of those like outside in the fountain or some shit.
Oh no,
I
you're
thought I
right. He
remembered
found
him
him in the
wiping
pool.
off the.
He found it in the pool.
Okay.
He found it in the,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
When he
shitty
was
shallow
inside the
pool.
pool.
Yeah.
Fountain pool, come on, they're rich. Maybe.
Yeah, but it was the pool that was like the last time you see the pool, and that's the moment where you're like, oh, I guess he's been there for months because it's just like a little puddle in the corner.
Yeah.
And when you first see him go in, it's like at the top.
And
But
that-
you would expect him to be a little like mini machinist, like a little mini Christian Bale machinist at this point, like having no food and everything, just like all like.
Yeah, but
Withered.
I don't think Christian Bale was on the level of method actor.
Oh
at
no
that
no
point.
no
Yeah.
no 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 obviously not. But it's just like he looked fine, and it was like. What you can't have just been exactly resin hitting the fucking ration cans for 4 months and like you're still just like, oh yeah, no, I can just ride my bike. No, like you're gonna be like, I'm dying.
Well, it seemed to imply to me later on that he had been going between the houses and raiding the houses like that. And then when we see him like resin hitting all of the
it's
cans
because
and
there's
shit,
so many out, and he's like just kind of making his rounds.
yeah, by the time we see that, it's at the end of him in that phase. He's
Yeah,
only
he's
been
just like,
starving for a few days.
Yeah, I've got to
Or like a day or
check
two.
all this shit, make sure I ate it all. Like,
And that's when
I
he
thought they were
decides
gonna
to
have
leave.
I thought they were gonna have a scene with him getting drunk off those little liquor candies.
I thought
Like,
so too.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that they didn't have like a fun like drunk kid scene.
Well, one could argue that the rest of the movie, he was drunk.
Yep.
He
He's
does pick up some habits.
Yeah, he's a little fucking weirdo the rest of the movie.
Also, like right after
You are a difficult child.
yeah, right after like that whole scene where he's just at his lowest, pretty much starving and stuff, and he's just like, I surrender. Like he's just like they're gonna feed me. Like just I surrender, please take me. The whole time, and they're just like, oh, okay, you surrender, like motherfucker.
Yeah, he can't seem to take anyone.
oh, I surrender.
No one seems to take seriously that he's like, I surrender at any point during the movie. Because
He
pulls
surrenders to literally everyone, though.
Yeah,
immediately.
So
Like,
but they see through it as well.
It's just
They're
like-
oh, this
it's just like
kid,
the-
okay,
the
like,
subservient dog, when it just like rolls over on its back, that's just fucking Bale this whole movie.
oh yeah.
I surrender. Take me, scratch my belly.
Scratch my Christian crack.
Oh,
So that obviously after that we get into what's his name, the truck driver,
Joe Pantoliano.
Ah,
He was Cypher in The Matrix.
yes, yeah, bad boy.
yeah.
He was in The Sopranos.
If you've never seen The Matrix, spoilers.
Gabagool.
in Bound.
But so he
Yeah,
takes him
gabagool.
to John Malkovich, and John Malkovich and this guy are like kind of partners, but obviously there's a hierarchy.
Yeah, John Malkovich is always in charge.
Yeah, and he's fantastic.
But also,
really.
well, he always eats first. Well, Joe, like he starts out seeming like he's really like a protector, and then just immediately is like, we don't need this fucking kid around. It's like, you fucking brought him here, dude. Like, what? What?
So true.
He was upstaged by John Malkovich's fatherly care for the boy.
Yeah.
Fatherly pocket digging, like just seems
Hey,
rifling
hey,
his
let's
pockets.
try to
It's just like,
sell
"Come
this
on,
child."
See what you've got.
Yeah, they were trying to sell him and like checking out his. I was like, are they selling him for meat?
Yeah.
right now? Like,
Yeah.
are they selling him as an aphrodisiac
And
to
he's
be
like-
ground down?
Jim's like, why couldn't you sell me? They're
Yeah.
like, they didn't
Nobody
want you.
fucking wants you.
That's so fucking hilarious. And that's when they're like about to ditch Jim, and he's like, no, like I know this whole block of mansions that we can go to, and you'll find a bunch of shit that you can either sell or just, like
Rich pickings.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, I'll entertain the idea. And they go, and immediately there's just the fucking scene is so good how they shoot it. When he's like, what is he? Ring the doorbell and knock, or the guy's just coming down the.
Well, no, he runs out. He's like, "Mommy, she's home!" Like, because he sees
yeah.
like the silhouette,
Oh,
in the window.
window.
Yeah. And then like a Japanese dude in a fucking robe comes to like in a bathrobe comes to the door and is like, "Huh? Yeah." And
Yeah,
then like
but,
all
like,
these other
it's-
Japanese dudes.
It's showing just the feet and the legs, and then like pans up.
yeah.
and it looks so feminine and perfect, just because they're fit Japanese soldiers with tiny shaved hairless legs, and they've got lace on. I'm just
And
kidding,
what
but it's
appears
like
to be dresses and robes.
But
Yeah.
but then it's just so great. Fucking John Malkovich and Joe, like, they're just like, oh fuck, go, and they just fucking start driving around the circle, and all of these like 8 like it seemed a little homoerotic, like 8 Japanese dudes in like short kimonos like come out and start grabbing at him and pulling him out, and they just like keep turning it. It's just like spin all the way around the roundabout,
Yeah.
and then like the car stops, and then just John Malkovich just so cool, just tossing him the sunglasses, being like, I want these back when they're done. And then he just gets a fucking beating, just gets the shit beat out of him, and it's just like, I want the sunglasses back though. Hey, hold on to these.
yeah.
You're gonna take these.
He's
and
got
keep them
he's got a
safe.
couple of cool ass moments in this film for sure.
Yeah.
But in other times you're like, I don't know.
Well, he's definitely an asshole and
It's
self-serving.
not a role
but,
model.
but he teaches Christian Bale how to survive.
For sure, yeah. And I don't know, we just needed a role model, kind of, though. Somebody had to be a role model to make this movie into something.
But nobody was a role model, and that's why Christian Bale is a broken human that will
It's a
have
shell of a human.
This is a story about a young boy with privilege issues that ends up as a young boy with post-traumatic stress disorder and a fractured memory.
Yes. Fractured memory.
So, like, I feel like if there were truly a role model, the ending might not be so bleak.
And yeah, like, well, John Malkovich, they all go to like prison, and he's just like, hey, I got an extra pail. You know that woman that died? She died, but she didn't hand in her pail. You're just like, oh, cool, John Malkovich. All right,
You're
I
a
can see
grifter.
how life's gonna be,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna
Yeah,
live
and then-
my life like you.
And then once they get to the camp, he's like, he says to the doctor, he's like, okay, because they're putting the mosquito net on whoever dies next. They're putting the mosquito net on the dude with the golf shoes. He's like,
Yeah.
can I have his golf shoes when he dies? And he's just like, oh, what a little pragmatist. And then he's like, oh, I got my new word for the day, pragmatist.
Yep. He kept learning the words, which were more and more problematic.
He really could have grown through Spielberg, but like Spielberg did such weird shit. Like, what the fuck?
Especially
so
by the end
strange.
where he like it's
You
like
didn't connect all the things.
you can see what he's doing. He's like he hasn't befriended the Japanese boy in the airfield, and they like bond, and then they like help each other out throughout the film, and then and then you're like, oh, it has like this happy resolution where at the very end, where like you could see it becoming coming of age. He's grown to accept another kind of person, you know, whereas before he's treating them all like they're maids. But now he's like, he's grown to respect them. He's grown to be able to take care of himself and to survive. And then John Malkovich and his fucking goons show up and they fucking kill him. And it just breaks Christian Bale as a person. He completely snaps, thinks he's God, forgets what his parents are like, and the movie's over.
Well, he's reunited with his parents, and that's so fun and happy for us. And
He doesn't recognize them.
I know,
It's like you realize
it's
at that moment, you're
crazy.
like, oh my God, this kid's fucked for the rest of his life. Like, that is damage that's irreparable.
dude, all the like fucking planes and sparks and saluting and like singing that's going on in that one scene, I was just like, the fuck is this? Just fucking Spielberg just masturbating all over the screen.
Kind of.
It
Kind
was
of.
literally
Great shot.
great
the
shot.
most
This
Spielberg shots
this
ever.
fucking movie is so like self-service to Spielberg. It's insane. It's insane that it didn't come out like later, because now obviously he's doing films like fucking where he doesn't even direct, and he's just like, yeah, computer animation, cool, I'll direct for 13 minutes. All right.
He
Yeah,
did Bridge of
yeah.
Spies, though, and Bridge of Spies is great.
True. I did not see it, but I did not see it.
Lincoln and Bridge of Spies, both great.
But yeah, I you know what I'm saying? Like, it's surprising to see this in Spielberg.
It
at
seems
this
like
point.
something.
Yeah.
Yes, it seems like something that would have come out when he became more like up his own ass and like, you know, even bigger and just a little later into his career.
And it's probably not even him being up his own ass. Maybe it is a little bit. You know, obviously he was huge, but like it might just be him pouring out his heart so hard that it's like
It's just like,
yeah, exactly.
All right, you're losing
it was just
sight
like
of
you're
the
too
movie.
into it, dude. Yeah, exactly.
it wasn't
Exactly.
it wasn't
He's-
organized. And like I would say that Schindler's List he's even more emotionally invested in, but I feel like because he made Empire of the Sun, because he made The Color Purple, he like kind of got all of that weird like ego out in those movies. And I haven't seen The Color Purple, and it's supposed to be a better than Empire of the Sun, which I feel like might be just like a display
you mean people
of
actually
Spielberg's
talk
ego.
about it?
Huh?
People actually talk about The Color Purple.
Yeah.
I've heard about The Color Purple. I've seen scenes from The Color Purple. Empire of the Sun I just heard about not that long ago, and then we watched it.
Yeah. Color Purple had like relevance, but I think he got out all that like ego in those movies, and that's why Schindler's List is so good, because like a movie is good. Like there's no argument against Schindler's List. There's no like moment where you're like, oh, that was a weird choice. It was like it's all motivated. But I feel like it's only because he did Empire of the Sun right here at this weird part in his career where he's known for making kids movies, but he's desiring to make a much more serious drama about human nature and war, and specifically in this time period. So I think that's like an interesting, like,
Put
this is
into
like
that, that makes a lot of sense, like where this movie is placed, like in his career, with given the transition.
Yeah, it's like he was
From
kind
the
of
kids'
coming
movies.
of age.
Yeah.
Th-
Oh, for sure.
This is like this weird, just like shit that he took in the middle of that, and it's like not. It's great. It's a golden shit, but it's still shit.
Yeah. So like, it's not shit, but you're just like, you could have brightened the corners a little bit.
It just needed more of a point. Like
It was lost.
Its point of view
it's
is
very
wandering.
lost.
Ambling.
But like, yeah, I agree. Like
It's ambling.
from that HBO Spielberg
ambling
documentary. From that Spielberg HBO documentary, like you really do see how much he cares and how much emotion and love was in that guy. Like totally makes sense.
Yeah.
In all of this, like he was just fucking beaming and showing it through his cinematography and his film, and
For sure. I mean, he's a consistent and pretty compassionate individual, at least from what I can tell from his movies and from the documentary about him and his interviews and stuff. I don't. That's why I don't think he crawled up his own ass in this movie. I think this is genuinely just like a pure, like
Expression.
Spielbergian expression, and it's just like unfocused.
Spielberganite expression.
Yeah. It's just an unfocused Spielberg movie, and I can't think of many others that are that unfocused until you want to get into like The Post and shit. But even that has like a really strong thread through it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my favorite.
I need to watch some more Spielberg films that I haven't seen. There's a good little. There was probably like 2 or 3 in that before 2000s era that I need to watch.
I've definitely not seen all of them, but I've seen enough, I think, to know that he's consistent.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. I'm just saying, he's awesome, honestly. So I need to watch more. The Lost World rules. I'm just kidding. Okay, so right before that Sparks and Airplanes thing, that's like right before they go to the internment camp, right? Like that's where that takes place. It's like,
yeah, on the air. I think it's after he gets to the internment camp, and
Yeah, because the landing strip, the airstrip is right next to the internment camp.
he kind of like
Yeah.
sneaks out and walks around, or they let him walk around or something.
yeah, they're all like, hey.
Well, no,
Chad.
the dude's about to fucking shoot him. Like one of the guards is like, are you talking about when he's like goes up and puts his head on the plane?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, remember one of the guards like fucking is like yelling at him in Japanese, and he doesn't like hear him, and then he like cocks the gun.
Oh, yep.
And
yeah,
he's like
I do
about to
remember that.
shoot him, and then the pilots walk up, and like he turns around and he like salutes the pilots, and the pilots like salute him back, and you're just like, wow, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's like a wartime fucking fantasy.
But like,
yeah,
the
you're like, oh, the honor.
the danger is lost in that scene to me. Like, I don't remember the danger of the guy almost shooting him because it's shot in such a sentimental way of him like showing respect to the airplane and then to the pilots, and then them like respecting him back. Like the way it's shot and the tone of the music and stuff, I completely was like senseless to the danger that like I remember now, but
Yeah, well, I think that was kind of part of it too, and what we were talking about earlier of like what his message behind this must have been. It was just the kind of the chaos of war, and that we're all people and everything, but like the shared respect that these two opponents have, Christian Bale and the Japanese pilots. But respect for like a similar the aircraft and everything, whereas the other were in a rough sense, and the other soldier, like he was just a fucking guard, and he was just like, oh, this fucking kid, like you're not supposed to be here, but like they had this shared thing between the pilots and Bale, and so like they had some common ground.
yeah.
I don't know.
For sure,
Oh,
but
I
there's
think
a lot
it's
of
the nail on
parts
the head.
in that like seem too easily forgiven and not realistic.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence by any means, but it feels like it wants to be that. That's if you haven't seen, that's the David Bowie being a British soldier locked up in a Japanese internment camp movie that stars all Japanese people, and it's much more realistic than this.
What?
It's from the same time period.
Well, it's more like befriending.
wanna see that.
It's a
It's
fantastic
like
movie.
befriending the Japanese. It does it the opposite way. Like where he's like, is he admiring the Japanese before he gets into this imprisonment camp?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. I mean, he says he wants to be a Japanese pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
at
it's
the
very
beginning.
similar to that.
Like, he admired the Japanese's honor and stuff, and that was like the whole thing. And that's like kind of what helps him survive. And then he uses it to help other people through the movie. But like, what the fuck does that say? Because then he grows to like become friends with a Japanese like airplane, like a pilot. And then at that ending scene when that pilot gets killed, and Bale reacts to it, the whole time, like, he hasn't grown. He still has the same exact kind of respect for the Japanese despite what's happened to him, which is fine. Like, it's like, that's a good message to have, but there doesn't seem to be any direction that took other than just to like serve as a character trait that played way too big of a part into the overall plot and like what happens to this kid. And
So also, I thought that Japanese pilot that he was friends with was just kind of like the slow kid on the base.
that's what I thought too.
Like at first,
sure.
I just thought he was like some fucking like
Someone
derp
hit him in
kid.
the face with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, exactly. And they were just like, he was like fucking 17, but they were just like, nope, he's a fucking child. We just let him play with the model planes over here on the base. Like,
Yeah.
I thought he was like one
that's
of
my
their,
slow brother.
I thought he was one of the pilot's weird kids, and that's why
Yeah,
he
like-
connected with Bale, because they're just both kids and they don't care. You know?
Yeah.
They just
And
love
then all of
planes.
a sudden there was,
But isn't
Yeah,
that kind of?
nope.
That's like,
It's like,
right
this is
when
a
he
boy
gets
in the
caught.
striped
There's like a good
pajamas
amount of
situation.
time, I suppose, that passes. But like, again, like it doesn't really. It doesn't tell you exactly how long, you know.
Yeah.
It feels like it's a pretty long movie, but you don't really know, you know. So I feel like something like that could have helped that as well. You know, just be like, you know, this guy is maybe a little older and now he's a pilot. Because like the first time you see him, he's just like, yeah, exactly. You're just like, oh, this little kid, yeah, cool. Kids helping kids.
well, even more like childish than his yays is his disappointment face when the plane lands on the other side of the fence.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just like, oh,
Frumpy.
like just this. Yeah, the saddest little groom face, and then he's just like so excited when Bale throws it back to him.
Yeah, he's like, thanks. All right, see you. I'm gonna go be free.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna go eat not potatoes,
so apparently-
potatoes and weevils.
potato boy.
Which he snuck out to catch, but never showed him bringing any back. He just showed up.
Oh, the
empty-handed.
pheasants.
Yeah.
Oh no! I'm talking about the weevils, the bugs that were in the food
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
that he was talking about. Oh yeah,
That
the
he
doctor
actually
says you
ate.
have to eat them. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, 30.
He's keeping an average of how many are in each, like helping for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The average is up, but it's above average, but the trend is down.
Yeah. That was a ridiculous scene.
So apparently during the entire internment scene, or like once they go to the internment camp, most of it was cut out. Like it was a huge part of the film, but the film like took so long to get around to doing anything that like there's so many fucking parts. Like most of it was cut, that a lot of actors' parts were either completely cut out of the film
Damn.
or like almost considered cameos. Like Miranda Richardson is her name, right?
Yeah. She's
Her-
second credited.
Yeah, her performance was almost like just going to be like cameo by because of how much they cut out.
Damn.
Yeah. So
The
also
woman who was playing the piano at the end dying like the whole time.
Yeah, the woman who's dying the whole time.
The
And
entire time.
who's having wartime sex when the bombs are going off.
Yeah.
I'll bet money she wasn't dying the entire time, and that's like all the shit they cut out was her not being sick. Like, what a disappointment for an actress.
Yeah, her and Christian Bale actually having conversations.
Yeah, like there's probably like a bonding thing between them that happens, and then as she gets sick, he grows apart from her, and then comes back together with her, and then ends up like holding her hand as she dies, and then they cut all the build up to that.
Okay, well, the movie was already 2.5 hours long, so like you
Yeah, for
have
sure.
to make some sacrifices. It can't be a goddamn 9-hour movie.
Cut down.
I mean, it can
the
show
glider.
us
It
a
can,
9-hour movie.
yeah.
But
Yeah, ambling this hard. Oh my god. 9-hour amble.
So how about right when they introduced like the internment camp? It's like, isn't it like 18 months later or something? He's like, da 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 da. He's like running through
Oh my
like,
God.
I know everyone here.
let's meet the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, I never want it to end. Like I think he specifically says, he's like, what? Like what? We're gonna have to leave the camp? I don't want to leave the camp.
This is home now.
Yeah,
I'm
everything
in
makes
charge.
sense here.
He's just like fucking dropping marbles and shit, and like, I won in a split second.
They're like,
taking
oh
your
no, give us
marbles
our marbles back.
off to the next thing.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll trade
Everything
you this
he
for
does
that.
is to trade for something else that brings it down the line. You know, he's just like constantly, he gets something and then trades that, gets something else, then trades that, and then he like gets the marbles, and then he uses the marbles later to get like.
Well, yeah, it's all the shit he learned from fucking Malkovich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
it was like how
"Ta-da,
Malkovich
ta-da."
immediately when they got on like one of the first things Malkovich does when they get on the truck to go to the internment camp, he sees the doctor with the golf shoes. He's like, "You in the market for a pocket watch?" Like he wants to trade out for the golf shoes,
Yeah.
and then Bale ends up getting the golf shoes.
Well, that's just the barter
Yeah.
market.
After he tells the Japanese guy like, "We're all the same," and he breaks the windows to the hospital, then they give him the shoes.
Yeah.
See, that's such a Spielberg thing, and that works because it's quick and it's over and it paid off. Okay, so let's talk about the hospital scene because that's how this entire introduction ends to the internment camp is him going to the doctor, and the doctor's just like, "Oh my God, hey, can you do this? Like, can you do the CPR?" Which is so crazy. It's such a thing for this movie to just be like super jovial and happy and magical and then fucked up or just plain weird and psychopathic. And you're like, oh, I was feeling really good about this for a while, but I mean, I thought it was funny, but I was feeling good about it. And now you made me feel weird, Steven Spielberg. So another funny thing, this is the only goof that I could find in this movie, is that CPR wasn't developed until 1960. Hilarious.
Fucking idiots.
Ha ha ha.
I mean, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man. That's 20 years off. You should have known that.
But it's whatever. It's honestly another one of my favorite scenes is when he's doing it so much, and like he just pumps a little blood into her brain, is what the doctor says, and her eyes move towards him.
She gasps in.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's like I've never seen anything like that in any other movie, so that's why I'll give this movie its due respect for what it is.
Oh no! This movie is a series of epic sequences that add up to essentially nothing.
Yeah,
That's the only reason it's not good, but they're all good sequences.
yeah, for sure. If that's why I wanted to watch the movie, because I saw sequences, I saw little bits, and I was like, yes,
That looks great.
I gotta see where this is going.
All the sequences are pretty fucking good.
Sequences.
It's sequences though. You can break this movie down into sequences. I think that when they leave the internment camp after we'll get to
The
them
60
bombing.
savory sequences of the sun.
But when they leave and they go through the desert or whatever, and then they find all of the stuff, and it's like a dream sequence almost.
Oh yeah. In
when-
like the big stadium.
Yeah, and then
Full of
she's
shit,
like plays
yeah.
the piano, and it goes into Miranda Richardson's death scene or whatever. But that whole like part of the movie, that it felt like a dream, and I thought it was really like cool. Like it was a really good sequence.
Yeah,
I hate to use that term now.
It is cool, but it's also like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many parts of this movie that it leads you down a road that you already kind of know isn't going to pay off. And about an hour and a half in, I stopped caring about some of the scenes. And like, as I'm watching them, I'm just like, this is as magical as the last scene in the last half hour that I really liked, but it's not doing it for me anymore. Steven.
That's I was 100% there on that. Yeah, on the finding all the shit scene on the chandeliers and the death sequence. There, I was like, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
It just kind of keeps on handing you shit, and you're like, okay, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I got that. Yep. I'm holding them all. One more. Yeah. I'll take. Yeah, put it just right on top. Yep, right there. And you're just like, I don't think I can hold all these things anymore. We're like, well, we got more stuff for you though, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna walk away, and I'm gonna start putting these things down.
I agree with that. I mean, that's how I felt the whole time. The last part I remember caring about was when he's sneaking out through the gate or under the barbed wire.
Yeah, and they're all
like,
betting on him.
And everyone's betting on him. I was like, this is so fun.
That was awesome.
And this is really fucked up, but it was awesome. And then it ended the way that it ended, and that's when I stopped giving a shit. Really.
When he was just like,
really far
ha,
into it.
wink.
Yeah, he like sees the shoes, he goes out, and then that kid, the kid's just like, haha, I got you, and I'm like, and then he comes back in, and he doesn't have any, he didn't get anything, he just comes back, like there was a purpose to his mission, and
he was supposed to go catch pheasants, but no,
nothing, and I was like,
it
there's
turned
no
into
payoff.
something completely different.
They're treating him like a fucking hero when he comes back in.
Yeah, and he gets to stay with the Americans, but he didn't do anything.
He didn't accomplish a damn thing. He just survived. And that's kind of the fucking movie.
That's kind of American.
Yeah, I guess that's American. But I don't know. It was just very strange at the end of that. I was really into it, and then it was just...
Yeah,
and
also
I was giving it one more chance.
And also, the Japanese soldier was right fucking above him, and
that whole
the whole camera shot. Roger Ebert in his review talks about that camera shot, and it's just like with a trick to the audience, just from this single camera upshot, it's like seemingly kind of a little trickery, like, oh, he doesn't see him, but from any other perspective, you just be like, oh, there you are. It's just kind of bullshit that it didn't. And also the mines thing, I was like, oh man, I hope there's fucking mines there.
Never
But when I saw that it was that close to the airfield, I was like, okay, well, there's not gonna be mines there now.
Yeah,
he's so close to the airfield.
Yeah, it didn't make any real sense.
And obviously, the Japanese soldier wouldn't just be like,
he wouldn't.
I didn't know there was mines there.
No, the mines thing was like a 45-second bit. Like, it was just like in and out real quick. It was like, I bet there's mines. Bet there.
I
aren't.
latched onto
no,
the mines. I latched onto them hard. I was like, yeah, let's get some mines.
It's gonna make
just all of a sudden, Christian Bale's head explodes. Just like he goes right over. End of the movie. Credits.
Yeah, that's something William Friedkin would pull in fucking Sorcerer or something like that. But that's the whole Hitchcock thing. They established that there might be mines out there, and then you're like, oh, it's the bomb under the table that no one knows about that he always talks about. It's like that's what defines suspense. The audience knows it's there, but the characters don't. And he's starting to set that up, and then just does nothing with it.
Yeah,
it's could have been even more
bummer.
Suspenseful, where you're the audience, we know that there's mines in there.
Yeah, and this whole going back, and that was actually a pretty great part. But when he's going back to them, and they're all like, "You're an American now," and right after that, he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" To that guy, what's his name, Joey or something?
Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, no, I thought
what's
that
his
was
name in the
pretty
movie?
funny,
Though?
I don't know.
That was fantastic. He's just doing like
Yeah.
His name
a
was
New
Frank.
York accent, like, "Yo, what's up, Frank?"
And Frank's just like, "Fuck you, man."
Yeah. And fucking John Malkovich is wearing like a mesh shirt, and you're like, "Where the fuck did you get that?" Yeah.
The mesh shirt with the white blazer.
1940s.
Yeah. Yeah. They weren't even eating like very well. They had almost no food, but
Yeah,
he
a
somehow
potato
found
a day.
he somehow found the most stylish white blazer suit with mesh matching top that anyone's ever found in the history. of the world.
Violins and
Of the
chess
world.
sets and shit.
Yeah. It's like, and was mesh even a style back then?
No, I don't think so. This
Just like as camouflage on top of like fucking tanks and shit, you know?
But no
Just
one
like throwing the like.
it was
It
wartime.
wasn't white mesh.
Yeah.
Like people weren't wearing white mesh T-shirts.
No.
Yeah.
I was saying like just that material was purely just like that was a utilitarian material at the time. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like
So like,
I don't think people
so
had.
like, I'm sure there's other parts before this, but the raid on the American clan that like they have there as well, like where he comes in and like beats up John Malkovich, the Japanese soldier, and like, you know, kicks the shit out of him, and he's like, "Hey, Christian Bale, all my shit's in charge of you. Keep my shit." But then they just sell all of his shit off, or like, people just take it, obviously.
Well, no, yeah, he's in the hospital and he's just like, wait a second, Jim, I told you to watch my shit.
Yeah.
Why aren't you watching my shit? And he's just like, they're all bigger than me.
Yeah, that's fantastic. But when he gets
Nothing
back,
I can
his
do.
room is still there, and all I could think about was that I wish that there was just a guy who would come in and be like, "Oh, you're back," and like he just like has his mesh shirt on. Like, that's what I wanted so bad. That'd be the
I just wanted Ben
funniest.
Stiller to walk in with the mesh shirt and the blazer and be like, "Oh, hey, it's good to see you."
Oh, it'd be so good.
I also want to know that Ben Stiller's character's name was Dainty.
Yeah.
He's like one of the sucking seven dwarfs or something.
The sucking seven.
Yeah.
dwarfs.
Sucking seven
What
dwarfs.
kind of porno have you been watching?
Not the fun one.
That's another reason I was looking for him
Scary
as a
porn.
child as well. Because like I'd seen on Google or whatever his name was Dainty. I was like, oh, he's gonna be like the little frail boy in camp.
Exactly.
And then and no,
Nope.
he's just like the asshole, like
He's the
teenager or whatever.
Teenager.
He's the asshole Italian guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Isn't that like what was the I literally wrote down in my notes, choir boy comes back, like because he starts singing again.
Oh
And I said, what does it mean? I just like I like halfway through this movie, like even a quarter, I don't know, so many times I was just like, what the fuck does this mean? Am I too dumb?
I don't know. I will
But
tell you.
know
I will tell
I'm
you.
not.
It goes from him singing that song to the Japanese, and right when the Americans start bombing, or whoever it is that start bombing, he's on top of the fucking building,
Yes.
and there is no transition from him being in front of the
it
gate
not?
and on top of the building. No, he just like is there, and the next time you
What?
see him, yeah,
It-
it makes no fucking sense.
It's also crazy that it goes from him singing to just that plane exploding
Oh.
as well. That's
It was one beat off from being hilarious.
no. It was one beat off from being dramatic. It
Yeah.
was absolutely hilarious because
One
it
beat each
literally,
Yeah.
it literally was timed with the music, and
It should have been silent for a second.
it
you're
should
right.
have been a
held,
silent
and
for a
then-
second longer, and then it would have been like, oh shit. But it was just like dun dun, like you're just like hilarious. Like that's so funny.
So many parts of this movie felt like a Monty Python sketch.
Exactly. That's
Like
exactly
so
what it felt
many
like.
Parts. The beginning felt like Monty Python. Right when that guy started talking, the very beginning, reading the monologue, I was like, "This is Monty Python. This is the setup for one of the like most ridiculous jokes." Yeah. I'm just waiting for Graham Chapman to come out and be like, "Too silly."
Yeah,
too
like
silly."
they would just keep on reading. Like it
Yeah.
would just go
It
on for
keeps
too long.
Going. Yeah.
For 2.5 hours.
Good fucking God. Yeah, and then he's on top of that building and he's like, oh my fucking God, look at all this. It's a B-51. It's the Cadillac of the sky. They're like, kid, you gotta get out of here. I love war.
And now he's all fucking
Now he's pro
And
American.
well, no, now he's all for the Americans and everything. He's like, they got these cool planes.
Oh yeah, true. But I feel like he's just
fair weather citizen.
He doesn't even care.
That's
Like,
what
he
I'm
just
saying.
wants-
He was a
just
fucking
likes
hangar whore. Just a hangar whore, dude.
He just like good airplanes.
Like a lot lizard, he's just a fucking
Hanger whore.
just open hole for all them pilots.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's so
when he's on top of the building and he's talking, it was the doctor that's up there with him trying to get him down.
Yeah, the doctor like goes up there. And
Yeah, and he's like talking about, oh my God, it's just so amazing. They're on the runway, and one day we'll be a part of the runway. Like,
No. He was saying all the people that died, like we could have been the people that died. If we had died, we would be part of the runway.
yeah,
It's
he's
our
he's
runway.
literally talking about not even like if we would have died. He's talking about like we could die and become part of the runway. Wouldn't that be so cool? Like he's like.
Are you sure? I don't think he was saying. I think he was just saying like there was so little difference between them and the people that had died, like trying to build the runway, or the people that died like up until now. They just got buried in the runway.
Okay,
I don't think he was saying that like he was gonna become part of the runway like when he died.
I think. Oh no, he wasn't saying that, but he was like wishful thinking it. It was either way, either from my perspective and your perspective.
Yeah.
The same logic is still there that he glorifies being part of the runway and dying on the runway and being a part of the runway so that the planes can run over his face. And he can go, "Thank you, plane."
Dude, he really
No,
had
John.
the planes.
Thank you, plane. You took my
Can I have another? Sir, can I have another?
And he's just in a gimp suit on the runway.
It's little old the twist run his face over.
Yeah, and I don't remember a lot of things, honestly, after that.
We
I
talked
remember
about most of it
I
now.
remember him talking about him not being able to remember his parents, and that I was like, oh shit, that's pretty crazy. And then literally when he saw his parents at the end of the film, he's literally just blankly staring like ahead, and his mom has to be like, hey, what's up? And he's just like, what? Like,
Yeah, but then he's like
Louis.
feeling on her and he's like feeling her face and everything and like making sure he's like, is it really fucking you? And the dad just like
Doesn't
he
care.
had this look he just had this look about him that he was like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like your kid was just in a fucking internment camp by himself for fucking months and months and months. Of course he's gonna be like fucking traumatized as shit.
if not years.
yeah, he's like the
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin of
years.
Spielberg movies.
Yeah. What a piece of shit. It's like Michael Jackson's dad.
What about the fucking like H-bomb scene where he thinks it's Mrs. Victor's fucking spirit?
Oh my god, that was crazy.
was I was like, oh
That's so
wow,
good.
well, that's very symbolic and crazy. And then it's a literal H-bomb, and I was like, oh god damn it,
Yeah.
Spielberg, what are you doing?
No, exactly.
Like what?
He makes
that
it way too sentimental.
He makes it beautiful as hell.
Oh my god. Yeah. Danger zone.
Danger zone. It's like, oh god damn it.
I thought that was her going to heaven. No, that was just thousands of others going to heaven.
He's making war
Tens of
much
thousands.
Yeah.
too beautiful. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, man, you gotta pull it back. You gotta give us something real.
Yeah, that's not real though. Like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Too beautiful. I'm sorry. That was a moment of silence for all
that's-
those who died in Nagasaki and Hiroshima.
That was
Seriously,
fucking
that's fucking
insanity.
insane.
I couldn't believe when
and
that happened. That was
When he describes the atomic bomb like God taking a photograph, that's beautiful. I think that's something. All these like references back to God. I think that is something we didn't necessarily need the other scene.
Okay, so
like
there's
to,
no reason. Like, Okay, go watch Hiroshima Mon Amour if you want your romanticism about the nuclear bomb, as well as like an accurate and realistic portrayal of like the psychological damage that it causes to a community. There's a movie that's done that. It did it well. It's fucking gorgeous.
It's not this one.
It's
not this movie.
Not this one. I don't know why Spielberg he replicated a couple shots from that movie in those sequences, and it's like, why did you do that? You've obviously seen the film, and that film is delicate and handles it well, and your film just like stomped through it like a stupid American.
Isn't it
Well,
pretty?
just an uncontrollable emotional human,
Like,
American, trying to make something. I don't know. It's very strange.
Like, and I respect Spielberg a lot. Like, he's done things that I really, really connect with. But that was problematic as fuck. It's the most problematic thing in the whole.
That was so crazy. Immediately we were just like looked at each other like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
That being said, well done sequence cinematography wise.
Yeah, that's a lot of the.
It was very pretty.
That's a lot of the fucking.
But like it shouldn't be. But it shouldn't be, bro.
Yeah. If you're gonna make something look that beautiful, you need to make it like tonally more accurate.
Well, see, it took me a second too, because I literally portrayed it in my mind as like how Jim thought it was. How it was Mrs. Victor's spirit leaving her body, which was beautiful seeing it in that
like
light.
Magical.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
1
And then
second later, you're like, oh, wait.
Yeah, you're like, never mind.
Never mind. Holy fucking shit. Oh, god damn it.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we've sufficiently talked about.
We didn't talk about the party ball that comes through the ceiling and all the fucking goodies come out of it. It's like the party ball from Super Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah. The supply drops, the ration drops and shit. I was like, party ball that comes. I did not. I maybe I fell asleep because I don't remember a disco. Like, what party ball? Right? Yeah, rations, and they start dropping those, and he's just like eating the Spam and shit, and just drinking the condensed milk, just guzzling it.
Yeah, exactly. And it like they had like streamers and confetti come out in one of the shots,
Yeah.
and I was like, "That's too happy. It's not real."
No, that's what I was saying, dude. It's just like way too much nostalgia and just like, isn't war fun? Like, what? Is it? Is it
I
though?
don't think it is. That's not what the deer hunter says. But I think now that we've talked about that, I think we've talked about the film enough to talk about like how these themes tie into,
Or don't tie in.
or yeah, specifically don't tie in to the coming of age themes that we talked about in the last episode about 8th grade, where we talked about how that movie kind of subverted different aspects of it by like changing the gender of the main character and making the ultimate message be she does gain maturity, but the ultimate message being that like you don't need to grow up too fast, which
just kind of be yourself and
and so like a lot
find
like
yourself.
a traditional coming of age film, which would be like The Sandlot or Stand By Me, is like there has to be some major growth where they actually have like exited a part of their lives instead of like learning to appreciate the moment for what it is.
Yeah.
So talk
Still
about all
acceptance.
That. Yeah,
is generally the the theme of it.
So this movie, it focuses on a male child in the right age group. In that way, yes.
And
it's
that's
a
that's about it.
And that's it. Growth is not a concept in this.
It proves that even the emotionally and mentally deranged can get by. You can get a job.
Succeed. Be leaders. Be the head of the pack. But be crazy as fuck and not have learned anything. Like, he doesn't actually learn to appreciate like the value of life. He doesn't grow out of any of his past desires. And by the end of the movie, he doesn't remember what his parents look like. He's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. He's seen multiple people be killed. and he's a shell of a human being at the age of like 14 by the end of the movie.
Yeah, and even like his obsessions and his concepts of life, they don't shift or change or develop, and like that's like the main thing with coming of age. It has to develop and grow, or at least like change. Like
Yeah. Well,
even
no-
like his
Yeah.
principles don't really change besides his mental status. Just
his childlike obsession, doesn't mature at all. Like the way he loses his mom is because he drops his airplane and he goes and grabs his airplane, and like that's how he loses his mom in the crowd. And then when all these fucking planes are zooming by and bombing everything, he's just like, oh, let me go to the top of this fucking platform and just check it out. Let me go look at it.
and
It's
that's
like,
very
dude,
close
that
to
is not the priority right now. Like, you should not fuck those airplanes. Don't
the
go
last
get
half
your
hour of
model
the film.
plane. Don't
Yeah.
fucking
He didn't grow
Just-
at all. He didn't learn anything. He just got even more enthusiastic about
Yeah.
what caused him to be separated from his
maniac.
family for years, as far as we know. Yeah, like I find the film problematic in terms of classifying it as a coming of age movie, despite the fact that it's somehow classified as a classic coming of age movie.
And it's funny, like
Yeah.
I picked this movie and I wanted to watch this movie so bad because I was just like, I saw clips from this movie and I was just like, this movie is probably incredible and probably has such a great build to it. Like,
because in clip form, it does. It looks.
Yeah.
It really looks like that in
Yeah.
clip form.
In clip
like,
form, in
like we were
sequ-
saying, sequences.
yeah, and you're like Empire of the Sun, Spielberg movie. Okay, it's got to be fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
I
are you
mean,
kidding me?
Spielberg doesn't
look
have
at
many
everything.
misses.
Look at everything about this film. It just points to fucking great film, except that you haven't heard that much about it. and then you just kind of see why after you watch it.
Yeah, because it's just a collection. It's a series of moments that don't really add up to anything, and there's no story being told in the sense that there's growth in character from
Yeah, no
beginning to
lesson
end.
learned. Like,
He doesn't cross the threshold and confront these demons and like challenge the gods and do all this stuff that, like, you know, quote unquote, like is like the essence of a story like this, and then come back bearing some kind of like new insight or being like changed in some way. None of that happens.
Just from any like perspective of any genre, it's just it doesn't really work.
And I'm not saying that like those things have to happen to be a good movie or be a good story, but this movie is definitely trying to be this like Joseph Campbell-esque like hero's journey, this child coming to terms with life kind of movie, and it just isn't that.
Yeah, he's just
It's
coming.
not
is it
successful.
even? That's not good if you think it's like really trying to be, because it's just like that's not hard to. It's like a plug and play.
Oh, yeah,
Like
for sure.
the hero's journey is a fucking plug and play. It's like, dude, what? You didn't do any of that.
I think he was.
You didn't do any of it.
I think he was trying to experiment, like we said, like earlier on. Like it's just Spielberg just laying Spielberg out and being like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's-
feel this, don't you feel this? I feel this, don't you feel this? And he's not thinking about.
And
that.
we're like, no, dude, no, we
No.
don't.
no, we don't. I mean,
That's weird.
we feel it from scene to scene, but like it doesn't add up to anything. We don't understand where you're coming from here.
It's like Steven Spielberg got naked and just like spread eagle on the bed. And he's like, "Come play with me."
Stick
You're
that
like,
up- stick that up there.
Spielberg, I can't look at you anymore.
Yeah, you kind of feel dirty. You just like look away at the end. Yeah, you're just like, I gotta leave.
I'll come back in a couple weeks. You'll be okay.
It's gonna be fine. Oh God, I can't look you in the eye. And you walk away. And then he made Schindler's List, and then he's just like, oh my God, he's the greatest human on earth. Like that movie's amazing.
It is amazing. I haven't seen it in a while. I should watch it.
That's a commitment, man. Because he took the extra hour and a half to establish everything. That was like, I mean, the movie's almost 4 hours long.
It's incredible though.
It's so incredible.
And the symbolism actually makes sense.
Well, everything makes sense. There's a through line. It's consistent. It doesn't have like Spielbergian moments when there shouldn't be Spielbergian moments.
Yeah, right.
There's no problematic like, oh, that's an H-bomb and thousands of people died, but we're gonna listen to it with John Williams playing.
Just E.T. flies through the fucking Pika, like the fucking aurora and shit.
Aliens are real.
Okay, yeah. God damn it. Well, we've thoroughly given an accurate description of how we feel about this movie and what Spielberg does, for sure.
We've talked about a considerable amount of it, and that's saying something because this movie's 2 hours and 37 minutes long. So
Of a lot of different bits.
of a lot of different bits. We missed some
sketches.
I'm sure.
Oh, we missed.
But-
I think we missed a lot. I think this movie was probably 5 hours long.
Yeah, we physically
We gotta
continue to
cut
talk
it.
about it.
We gotta cut it down a little. Just shave off a little bit.
This is we're editorializing at our own will. So fuck you if you don't agree with that, because that's what's happening right now.
I wonder what happened on set. Honestly, like, I really want to know because
I know that Ben Stiller said that he conceived the idea for Tropic Thunder on set and started writing the script
Oh my god,
for Tropic
What?
Thunder on
That's-
set of this movie.
that's interesting.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's very
it's a
interesting.
cool little trivia.
It's like, how often was he on set and he wasn't shown? Like, how many of his parts got cut as well?
I bet a bunch.
Yeah,
I bet
Yeah.
a bunch.
Yeah, because there was very little of him in there, and I feel like, yeah, they probably shot a lot more.
I just wonder if Steven Spielberg and Christian Bale like really got it off together too. As just two like ego maniac, like, well, like more like from Christian Bale's perspective, like he's just being like an ego maniacal little actor boy, and like, oh yeah, this is my big break. I'm gonna fucking do. Let me hold my breath. And then Steven Spielberg's like, oh man, this kid's giving me everything I need. Yes, all right, let's just keep on shooting. And then he's just like, another take, Mr. Spielberg. I got you. Just give me 2 minutes. And Spielberg's like, man, this kid's great.
Be back in 2 minutes.
See you in 2 minutes. See you in 2 minutes.
And I feel like they were just bouncing off the fucking walls, and everyone's like, oh my god.
Spielberg's just having the best time. He's just like, yeah, this kid just jazzes me up, man. Spielberg was
Do you have
kind
a
of
slumber
job.
party? I'll ask my mom.
Have you ever seen my movie Duel? I know it's rated R, but you have to watch it, Christian. You're gonna love it. Okay.
Oh. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. It was an experience watching it. I enjoyed watching it for sure.
I'm glad I saw it. Honestly, I'm glad I saw it. It's like one of those that you can just like kind of put a check mark next to.
Yep.
And you're like, I've seen it. Like parts of it, I find
It's
well executed.
It is.
Glad I have it in my brain cells. But
it is very interesting to talk about. I will say that much. I was excited to talk about it because of how much I had to say about it. Like, I was just like, there's a lot to say about this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think the problematic movies have more. We have more to say about them, especially well-made ones like this, where it's just like, oh my god, I can see what you were trying to do, but you did not do it. It did not happen.
And so it's easier. It's easier to grasp as well in that aspect. You know, just to be like, okay, I know exactly what you were doing, or trying to do, and I got it. But now I'm gonna explain why it's wrong because I know. I feel like I know.
Yeah. But like
With like well-made artistic movies, you're like, wow, that movie is so great. Okay, I'm going to talk about it, but I need to go back. I need to go watch it again.
the most well-made movies I can't really explain. You know what I mean? Like we can talk about them, but like there's an aspect of it that you can't even convey with words. You kind of just like it rests residually inside of you, and you like.
And then on the other side of that, there's if the movie is the worst possible movie you've ever seen, you can't say that much about it. Like Nothing But Trouble. Like there was not you. There, like,
Whoa, which
nothing
we
to
said we
say
were
but,
going to
like,
talk about.
There's a lot to say
Beginning of
about
this
Nothing But
episode.
Trouble. Honestly, there's so much to say, but it's just
I mean,
all like
it's
all like that's a bad decision. That's a bad decision.
But
That was
no,
a
but
bad
it's But it's all stuff that like I don't think I can even accurately describe. Like would need somebody to watch it for. Like I could talk about it with somebody else who's seen it, but like I couldn't.
Talk
if you haven't
about
seen
it.
like I can't even approach because it's just like so. No,
Dude,
it's like so sad for Dan Aykroyd is what it is.
You would just have to do
really
like
is.
fucking like commentary on it, like while the movie's playing.
Yeah, it's definitely like
so fucking.
It's like a mystery science.
There's
theater
too much.
movie.
There's too much, but
There's not enough at the same time.
Yeah, it's
There's
very
so much
strange.
Not enough.
It's like
Yeah.
little things. It's like little things like, oh, okay, well, that line, we can talk about that for a while. But like,
Yeah, but
it's
then,
just like fucking
oh my god, Nothing But Trouble is so hard to talk about. You're right. It's so
just
hard to talk about.
misogynistic fucking things
So-
coming out of.
Because it's just where to start.
What's his
where do you
face, his
start?
mouth?
Yeah, like
who's the
who's
the main actor again?
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase is such a
because
fucking
on
sexist
paper
asshole.
it kind of sounds fun. Like on paper,
It sounds
if you just
the
describe
most fun. John Candy,
Yeah.
Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd. What is it? Is it Demi Moore?
I think so.
No,
no.
Is it? No,
Yes.
it's not.
No.
I don't
Is
know.
it?
Doesn't matter.
I think
Is
it's
it
Demi
Demi
Moore.
Moore? I think so. Yes?
Fucking Tupac's
No.
in it. Like
Fucking-
what?
yeah,
Like all.
Tupac's first rap recorded ever is in this movie.
Is it?
Yeah,
I thought it was just his first movie he was ever in.
it was the first movie he was ever in, but I'm pretty sure it was the first time he was ever like
The first time he was
Like,
recorded.
recorded and then, like-
I'm pretty sure it's from this movie,
yeah.
What?
It's like his first
Oh.
recording as like a lead.
which is funny.
Okay.
It's
But
just
yeah,
so
no.
weird.
So yeah, on paper it sounds phenomenal, but it just, execution leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
And the man executing was Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
Dan Aykroyd as
Literally. He executed his
Dan Aykroyd's. I do not appreciate Dan Aykroyd that much, honestly. I don't know if you guys.
I
have,
do as an actor in certain roles. Like I think that under the right people, like Ivan Reitman under Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd did funny stuff, but definitely not in charge.
Yeah.
Just not good.
Nope.
Just not good.
I've never appreciated him that much. It looks like Coneheads, and like then I'm like,
Coneheads is
I'm,
funny.
I'm
It's
out.
I kind of he's fine in Ghostbusters. He's not the standout by any means, but like he's part of that, and like I can't replace him in my mind.
I can't even.
Yeah.
I can't even say like. See, I have the worst thing to say right now, and it's gonna be that I don't care for Ghostbusters at all.
Well, we're ending the podcast now forever. It's never going to be done
Yeah.
again.
Mark it. Mark
Like-
it where the entire podcast ended.
That's it. That's forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Really, like I watched those movies so much when I was a kid, and I was just like, I don't know why this is good.
You don't know why?
Don't know. I
Don't know
didn't.
why?
It just all washed over me, and I said, I don't care.
We're having a come to Jesus meeting after this podcast.
So I don't like. I know it's so like it's not even controversial. It's just wrong. It's not like, oh shit.
I know it's an opinion, but
he
I
said
also, and I know
what?
it's mine, but it's also wrong.
like I just can't enjoy it. There's something wrong with me.
You can't enjoy it?
I can't
Sigourney Weaver?
I can't.
Spent like 6 months at the psychiatrist just to eventually let out. Like I don't like Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
It's
when
just
they
like,
when they made
we
it
need to stop these sessions.
when they made another one with women, I was
Exactly.
like, and everyone's like, that one's gonna be bad. I was like, yeah. It's like cool.
But that one
Now
was bad.
everyone will know.
That one
I'm
was
just kidding,
bad
I'm just kidding.
because Paul Feig is a bad director.
Paul Feige is every time I see him now, I think of Ghostbusters and I go, God damn it, this guy sucks.
So you don't even like the original Ghostbusters, and you agree that the Paul Feig Ghostbusters ruined it.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
I mean, it
'Cause
didn't ruin it.
I
It
can
didn't
understand-
It didn't ruin the
it for me,
original.
but-
I can understand. Yeah, it didn't ruin the originals, but it's like, why do you do that?
I forever will love Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
See, the thing about the new Ghostbusters,
I am the gatekeeper. Are you the key master?
I feel like
Are you the gatekeeper?
as the internet grows and movies like that, like it's like Google, like it's like if you search up Ghostbusters on Google, like the new one might show up now.
Yeah.
But in a while, I feel like it's gonna be like, okay, there's a lot of fucking movies and remakes that have been made, and they're all just gonna kind of slide to the underside of the internet world. And in fucking 100 years, when some kid's like fucking surfing the net on his jet ski, and he's just like, dude, where's Ghostbusters? He's not even gonna fucking find the fucking 2017 version. Like, it's gonna be so back cataloged.
Yeah, it almost won't exist.
Yeah.
In fact, I would bet money in the next 50 years someone remakes it again with all women, and it's actually really good.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna do this again with all robots.
It's sex robots.
With all
No,
hooker robots.
it's just all non-binary. Everybody's just like you, they, what, huh?
I don't identify.
Ghostbusters.
Everybody's non-binary.
I just don't identify. But are you a man or a woman? I'm neither.
They.
What's happening
They,
right
it,
now?
it, ooh.
I don't mean.
Who you gonna call? I don't know.
What do I call you?
Them.
Sorry for saying you if that was offensive.
I don't mean to isolate our non-binary listeners.
Yes.
But
you're weird.
I don't understand. Make me understand.
I wanna learn.
Okay.
I wanna know.
Well,
can you show me?
forgot to talk
I
about-
wanna know about these strangers like me.
Phil.
Little Phil for you.
Little Philly.
Little Phil,
It's a little
baby.
Phil music.
We
Film music.
didn't talk about Nothing But Trouble at the beginning of the podcast like we promised all of our faithful listeners, but we talked about it at the end after we got
Yeah.
bored of talking about Empire of the Sun.
It did get boring talking about that movie. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Dan. We've been on the phone with you for 2 hours and 40 minutes. That is officially longer than the film itself. I am
Yes.
tired of Empire of the Sun. It
Yeah.
has worn itself out on me.
Yes. And, well, thanks for listening to the
wait.
podcast.
Also, I learned a new word today. Atomic bomb.
It's like when God takes a photograph.
Cheese. And then everybody died.
I saw skeletons in the sky. They covered the sky until it was black.
And
It was beautiful.
All right, weirdo. Fucking go find your parents. I don't know what they look like anymore.
I don't remember what my mama or papa looked like.
I think Liam Neeson could have been a good role model in this film. If he was in the film, like, he could have fucking been the guy in the... Well, I literally just said that because subconsciously I was thinking about...
Oscar Schindler.
Schindler.
I am here to seize the
I
little
didn't
boy.
realize why I was saying that in the middle of it, but I was like, let's just throw some Liam Neeson in here. He can be a Qui-Gon Jinn to Christian Bale. Also, when Christian Bale climbs in the cockpit of the airplane, and I immediately thought of, okay, we're gonna do some fucking foreshadowing for episode 1, like some fucking Naboo pilot shit. Like, all right, I'm Anakin. What's up, guys? What's a cool trick? I'll try spinning.
Liam Neeson just steps out and goes, "Hello, son. You look like you know what you're doing. How would you like to join?"
Looks like you've been
Jedi.
blood doping on your metachlorian count.
Credits? We don't accept the credits here.
See, my name is Oscar Schindler, and I am here because there seems to be labor disputes in the workforce. I would like them to come and work for me.
What the accent?
Mia Hakatuka, Makam now.
Kalama Matafa. We gotta do episode
Sandando.
1 sometime.
Sandas.
Yeah, we have to do the.
We gotta do episode 1, 2, and 3 sometime.
Oh God,
It's like no.
I'm just kidding.
It's like, why
we
am I a
really,
part of
we
this
really
now?
don't have to.
No, we absolutely do, but not for a while.
Yeah, not till
Not this year.
not till we're.
okay, but also,
I hope I die
Do
before
they
we
have
do
to be
that.
their own episode? Like, can we just do it in one episode? Do we have to do? We don't have to do 3 episodes, an episode for each one, do we?
That sounds like torture.
All of it sounds like torture.
And there's already such extensive
Yeah,
things
It's
on
been
the
covered.
internet that are so good.
We can do a 3-hour long one episode where we do each episode
Oh,
of Star Wars.
Well, yeah.
It's just like a long.
Yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna go so.
What
we
is
can
it?
release
Red Letter
that in
Media.
parts.
Did you ever see? I think it's Red Letter Media or something.com that has like the
they're the best
full-length
ones.
commentary.
Yeah,
the
it's
full length commentary
it's
on
Mr.
Star Wars.
Plinkett's. Mr.
Well, they have
Plinkett's
commentary,
reviews.
but they also have. I've watched the commentary. It's hilarious.
It's amazing. I mean,
But they-
Dan and I
yeah.
used to watch it in college. That was like part of
Yeah.
film school for us. It's just like watching Red Letter Media's breakdown of the prequels.
Oh, the breakdowns
Yeah,
are great,
that's
but I'm
great.
talking about the commentary while you're watching the movie.
Oh no, I was talking about the Mr.
Yeah.
Plinkett review
Yeah.
where he does like beat for beat through the movie. It's like 2 hours long for each one.
They also have Mystery Science Theater 3000 has the commentary for episode. I think just Phantom Menace, but maybe the first 3. But it's fucking hilarious. It's so fun. It's after Mystery Science Theater was in between being on Netflix and stuff, and they were called something else. I can't remember what it's called, but it's fantastic. Anyway,
Let's wrap this shit up.
all right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast. Next week, the next episode is going to be
Submarine.
That's
gonna be a
Submarine.
fun one.
so yeah, that's gonna be a good one, and the next one after that is gonna be a good one too. And it's gonna be both of those movies are probably gonna be way better than this one.
I think so. They're both way more critically acclaimed.
They're so critically acclaimed. It's
Well, I know
Pretty
so-
excited because you've been telling me to watch this movie for literally 5 years. So
I know Submarine's a good movie. I've seen it many times. Richard Ayoade is an incredibly talented director, and I'm very excited to be able to talk about him and talk about this movie and its influences in one of my favorite movements in film, which is the French New Wave, because that movie is definitely very much part of that. And then the Arctic Monkeys did the soundtrack, so that's going to be fun to get into because they're great.
nice.
Just a fun movie. Then I don't know about On My Own Private Idaho, but everybody says it's great. So
It's got Keanu in it, so I'm down.
yeah, I love Keanu. River Phoenix was great.
Oh, he is great.
No, he was.
He still exists. He's gonna come back.
in our minds, in our minds, in our
Once you get the
hearts.
Oculus
His brother
Pro
was great.
Plus, he can just come over.
Yeah, just all get Oculus, and then just have him as a hologram sitting with us.
Yeah, you don't see him? He's right there.
He's right here.
He's right there. He's eating dinner with us, Mom.
What?
His mom, I think, used to live here, or does live here.
She lives in Gainesville. Yeah, they're from there.
Yeah, my friend Harmony, like her mom, they're like family friends. Shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool.
Harmony's
That's
an
pretty
appropriate
cool.
name to be friends with that family because she named
Yeah.
everybody something strange. River, Joaquin, Summer.
She's probably a fucking hippie.
Autumn.
Yeah,
they were
they're-
hippies.
yeah,
they were
they're-
absolutely
She's hippie as fuck.
Yeah.
But they live in Gainesville.
Harmony Seaberg. Last name Seaberg.
Anyway,
Pretty cool name.
Yeah.
move to Gainesville, meet River Phoenix's mother.
Yeah.
It'll
come
be a
on
great
down.
time.
Come on down.
Just go find her at Publix.
I'm pretty sure Jordan's met her before. I'll ask her. I'll ask her for that story, and I'll share it with the viewers and the listeners next week.
Nobody cares. Anyway, thanks for listening to Coming of Age. You can find us on the Twitter and the Instagram. And, just start searching up random things and you'll find us. Coming of age is mainly the thing. Coming of age pod _ on twits.
That's how you find us on the twits.
Just listen to us everywhere and tell us what you think and tell us what you like and tell us what you want to hear. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll see you
Thanks.
next week, buddy boy.
Bye bye. Yeah. Fuck you.